Yeah, welcome to the X-Rated Sports Network, where the takes get loud and the truth get exposed. Let's talk about it. X-Rated Sports Network. If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect. X-Rated Sports Network, where the hot takes live and the truth get checked. East Coast talk, West Coast swag.
What is up, everybody? This is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, and it is a huge show, thus the velvet that we have here. The WNBA season is tomorrow. What is that, velvet? Yes, I think. Doc, it's not cashmere, I can tell you that right now. But we are on the eve, too expensive. We are on the eve of the WNBA season. We're stoked about that. And we welcome to the fold one Ashley Neville. She is in our beautiful LA studios with AM Pfeffer. But Ashley, it is a blast to have you in the fold with us, a part of the XSN family. Let's get it on, Ashley.
Let's go. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. So we have the great Dr. X, sports medicine radiologist, Dr. Phil McDonald. Right now, the insufferable Dr. X. Lower right, we have Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend, one of the top debate artists in the game. And of course, we have AM Pfeffer out there in LA with Ashley. And so we got a full crew here today. Hi, AM. Your Jets still suck. I'm sorry.
Rick, as long as you get a jab at me, I'm going to bring one back at you. You doing my people, man, from like Coming to America. Let me do it right for you. What is this? That's beautiful. Is that velvet? That's the line.
Yes. Yeah. Well delivered. Well delivered. Definitely an upgrade. Definitely an upgrade. All right, guys and girls, let's dive in. We have two amazing guests. All right. Big shout out to Dwight Walton. Has gotten us again, Chastity Melvin, former WNBA All-Star. She's a part of the Mystics TV crew, and Megan McPeak, who is on a fast rise to stardom. She was the sideline reporter for the Wizards last year. She'll now be a play-by-play announcer for the USA Network on Dub games, okay? And the Dub is going to be all over the place on all kinds of different networks. Every single Fever game will be on national TV. I know, that's pretty cool. We start with a very... I mean, look, I don't know if you guys saw this. The Dallas Wings, I think, are the second most represented team on national TV. The Dallas Wings were god-awful last year. Obviously, it's the Paige Beckers AZ Fun thing. They have Enrique. They may be an up-and-coming team. We got a lot of WNBA talk coming up. The question here to start the show, should the Celtics trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo? And I know that we have the NBA playoffs. We've got a million topics with this, but this is a major topic. We got to run into this head on. Jaylen Brown's frustrated with the Celtics, according to Tracy McGrady. Says, I think his frustration lies deeply in the organization that we don't have details to. Come on, T-Mac. You're teasing us, bro. There's just been a lot of stuff that I've been hearing just going on with the Boston organization and JB, okay? Jaylen Brown cleared the air, saying, me and Brad have a great relationship. I love Boston. If it was up to me, I could play in Boston for the next 10 years, okay? You can say that, but do you really mean that? Also, you can have a great relationship with Brad Stevens and not really be vibing with the franchise, which leads you to maybe Jason Tatum, okay? And does he want to share the spotlight with him? Brian Windhorst said about a possible Giannis-Jaylen Brown trade. Of course, it makes sense for Milwaukee. Of course, the Bucks are monitoring this very closely and would be ready to call Boston. Bucks owner Jimmy Haslam says that they plan to sit down with Giannis and make a decision on his future before the draft, okay? That is about 6 weeks away. And so here we are. Ashley, ladies first, and I want to give you the first bite at this debate right here. Should the Celtics trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
My first thought is no, because I do think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum actually play very well together. And despite Jaylen making the comment that this is one of his favorite seasons, just based on his own statistical analytics, which I'm happy that he was able to shine and actually show that he could be a number one option. But we saw how they were playing together in the playoffs. And Jaylen also did say that he loved playing alongside Jason and he needed him there to win Game 7. So I think they do play well together. They're able to kind of be that 1-2 punch, not necessarily always having Jason to be the number one option, but you have Jaylen too. I have a better place where I would like Giannis to go, but before I get to that point, it's also kind of weird that Tracy McGrady is allegedly Jaylen Brown's mentor, and he's sitting here leaking this information to the media. It kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, because if you're supposed to be guiding, leading, and helping this guy navigate potential trades, potentially being the number 2 option on a team, I don't know why you would go and use your platform to spread this rumor.
Totally agree.
So I don't really like that aspect. And also, too, it might not even be Jaylen wanting the trade. Maybe Brad Stevens and the Celtics are trying to leak some information out to pretend as if it's Jaylen that wants out, but really they want him out because he does talk a lot. So there's a couple different things at play here, and I think there's a lot of more nuance to this situation.
All right, so we had one of our audience members say that they would do that trade in a heartbeat. I'll give you my answer in a minute. I just want to you asked why T-Mac would spread this rumor, release this information. It's a really good question. I only have a theory as an answer, but this may be accurate. Maybe Jaylen Brown wanted T-Mac to do that. Just saying. It could have been a little bit of an out-of-bounds thing by T-Mac, and he kind of like dipped his toe in the pool but didn't dive in the pool, okay? He left a lot open to interpretation, but maybe Jaylen didn't want to say it with his own mouth but wanted somebody on a huge stage to bring up the word him, frustration. I don't know, okay? It's just a theory. But let's go to Dr. X here. Would you trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I would not. I think ultimately whoever does it, this is technically just a rental. Almost just think of Kawhi Leonard when he went to the Toronto Raptors. That's what this year will be for Giannis if someone's brave enough to even trade for him. But you're also going to give up a lot. And I agree with Ashley, like he plays better with the Tatum because, Brown and Tatum are better matched because Joe Mazzulla would have to change up his whole scheme because Giannis is not a three-point shooter. And so, of course, they probably add more three-point shooters around him. But the minute I heard this morning, the first thing I thought of, don't forget, Danny Ainge is still a Celtic in my book. And even though he went to Utah, I'm looking at AJ DeBansa potentially getting traded for Jaylen Brown. And that way you don't have to wait for all the development of AJ DeBansa. You have Jaylen Brown, you have Triple J, you have Keontae George, you have what's the other dude? The
Laurie
Finnish
Markkinen.
Laurie Markkinen. You have Kessler Edwards potentially if he stays. Maybe he doesn't make it through the trade.
Ace Bailey.
So all I'm saying is Ace Bailey. Yep, all of that. Who knows? So all I'm saying is that they might get, because of how deep this draft is, the Celtics might position themselves to get rid of Brown and pair him up with a generational talent that's young and up and coming in AJ DeBansa. And so that might happen. And I could see Ainge. I'm not sure of their relationship when he was with the Celtics, Jaylen Brown and Danny Ainge. I'm not sure if they had any bad blood, but all I can say is that might be the better move long term. And we'll see.
Wait a second. Are you talking about Utah actually going for it? Bring it on, Doc. I like it. I love the theory of that trade. All right, Dwight Walton, would you trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Well, first of all, what I will say about that, my cousin's Utah-Boston scenario, while it sounds good, cuz I don't think the state of Utah nor the ownership of the Jazz would allow AJ DeBansa out of the state, because they've been positioning themselves pretty much for 2 years now to get the favorite son, AJ DeBansa. Don't forget, DeBansa's gone to high school in Utah. He just finished his one and done season in Utah. And now the Jazz pretty much want AJ DeBansa to stay in state and represent their organization for the next 5, 10, 15 years. So it sounds good in theory, but I don't think that would ever happen. And they wouldn't accept Jaylen Brown as they would accept AJ DeBansa. Now, to get to the question, do you trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo? If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, yes, you make that deal, because one of the criteria the Bucks want in return, besides an obvious draft choice or two, is a young superstar. Now, I understand that Jaylen Brown is 28, 29, so that may not be all that young, but he still fits the quote-unquote young superstar criteria. And I think if it was a one-on-one, a one-for-one deal, the Milwaukee Bucks absolutely would want to make that deal. On the flip side, would the Boston Celtics want to do it? The tandem of Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo sounds great in theory, but the reality is both of those players are now injury prone. Jason Tatum may not have the injury history of Jaylen Brown. Don't forget, Brown isn't absolved of injury issues. He has his own knee situations as well. But Jason Tatum is coming off of a serious Achilles injury. So I'd be very aware of pairing two players together who are going to take most of your salary cap space up to injured guys. Tatum and Antetokounmpo, great when healthy, but Antetokounmpo, the reality here is he hasn't been healthy for any playoff run since they won the championship back in 2021. And they've lost all those first-round matchups as well. So while as great as Antetokounmpo is, he is a flawed superstar, and he's oft injured now at 31, about to be 32 years old, and he'll continue to represent his Greek national team whenever the situation occurs. So you got to take all that into consideration on this deal. Sounds great in theory. If the Bucks do it, yes. The Celtics, I wouldn't.
For the love of the basketball gods, do not let Utah get the number one pick in A.J. Dybantsa. They don't deserve him. They've been tanking for 10 years. I don't want Utah winning this lottery. I want them to take an L Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's when the lottery goes down. A Sunday afternoon draft lottery? Come on, bros. By the way, Peacock. No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. Reel it in, Cam. Reel it in. A.M. Pfeffer, are you trading Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
If I'm the Boston Celtics, I couldn't make this trade fast enough. 110%. Let's unpack this, guys. There's a lot more going on than just Giannis and Jaylen. First of all, the Bucks, as we know, and you've got me on record saying a million times, don't waste the asset by bringing some other guy back that you think is going to make your team better. If you're the Bucks, you have to bottom out, but they're stupid enough not to do it. They're the dumpster fire of the NBA, so they think that they could bring Jaylen Brown in and make a difference. Fine, that's on them. The problem for Boston with Jaylen Brown is that he is one of the absolute best ambassadors off the court of any team in the NBA. He's incredible for the city, but so is Giannis for his city, so you're swapping that out. In the locker room, both of these guys have become a distraction. It's fair to say. Clearly, with what Jaylen Brown said the other day, he's now a massive distraction, and it's a problem for the Celtics. You know what else is a problem for the Celtics? They're big men. Vucevic, goodbye, you're out. Sam Hauser, Amari Williams, Garza. You have no big men on this team, and all of a sudden you're telling me you can get Giannis as your staple? Jason Tatum is listed as one of your power forwards. No, he should never be more than your three. So make Garza and Nemash Keita your centers. Get Giannis as your four. You have a whole different dynamic and a whole different team. Doc, you mentioned the three-point shooting. Well, it didn't add up to much because you lost in the first round. You've got to go in a different direction if you're the Celtics. Missoula's got to figure it out. And finally, and lastly, the number one reason I'm making this deal, Jaylen Brown's super max is $304 million that kicked in last year, 2024, 2025. By the end of it, and it's 5 years long, he's getting paid $65 and then $69 million a year. Let that be somebody else's headache than the Boston Celtics, considering Tatum is making the exact same amount of money, and that ain't going to work forever with the second apron. Giannis has only this year on the books for $58 million. It's not going to be a full rental. Make it a 2 or 3 year deal if you're bringing him over, but that's all the Celtics need for 2 to 3 years. Clears the cap, clears the books. It's a much different look. The second apron has proven over and over again the last 3 years to be very detrimental when you're playing that poor, long game. It's going to blow up in their face if you got Tatum and Brown on the team at the same time. Make this the Bucks' problem. Make the trade.
Hold on. My boy JB's making 69 in a few years. My boy JB's raking. Come on, Jalen. Let's go. I love to hear that. He should change his jersey number to 69. And not for like the sophomoric reasons, but just, y'all, I'm be making 69 million in a few years, man. All right, here's my answer on this, guys. No, I am not trading Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I want to keep Brown and Tatum together, add to them, and go try to win a chip next year. These are championship level guys. I know, look, they beat Philly if Tatum plays game 7, okay? That's not Jaylen Brown's fault. It's not really Tatum's fault. It's what it is. But they would still be playing right now against New York, probably 1-1, okay, if Tatum were healthy. All of that said, I will trade Brown to Milwaukee if he forces my hand, okay? I believe Jaylen Brown wants his own team. The Bucks would be his team. I guarantee you Jaylen Brown would welcome a trade to Milwaukee to be the guy. I guarantee it. He wants to be the guy. He's sent all kinds of code out about that. The T-Mac frustration thing, saying that this was his favorite season over the championship season where he won the Finals MVP trophy and the East Finals MVP trophy, and Tatum could have won both of those, okay? It was a coin flip. And I'm not mad at him. Brown got his chip. Now he wants his own team. And he proved last year, number 2, mostly without Tatum, he's ready for this. How badly does he want his own team is the question. Does Jaylen Brown want his own team so badly that he will ask for a trade? Huge question. We'll soon find out. But if I'm the Celtics, I'm not trading a 29-year-old ascending Jaylen Brown for a 31-year-old descending Giannis. But if Brown forces my hand, all right, let's do it. But, and it's a big old but, I am not doing a straight up deal. I am not. The sweetener, I'm Boston right now, okay? We positioned, are you trading Brown for Giannis? This is a Brad Stevens conversation. Of course Milwaukee would do this deal. In a heartbeat, they would do this deal, okay? Mm-hmm. Question is on the Boston side. The sweetener's not coming from me if I'm Boston. You're giving me Giannis and for Jaylen Brown, okay? And so maybe that's a deal breaker. All right, cool. But you got to give me Giannis and either Kevin Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, Kyle Kuzma, or Bobby Portis. One of those 4 guys. You pick it. Doc, it's a fantasy transaction. You pick it. I'll take one of these 4 throw-ins. I could work with all of them. You name it. We got a deal? Okay? And you're saying Kuzma, he's been smelly ever since he went to Milwaukee. Do you think he might be rejuvenated in a Boston uniform? Obviously, Portis, I don't think Milwaukee's going to give him up. But KPJ, $5 million expiring contract, maybe you could get him to be thrown in. I think he'd be terrific in a Boston uniform. All right. Now, Dr. X, I got to bring you in here, my friend, for a little XSN checkup with the great Dr. X. And at this point, the insufferable Dr. X. And so I'm going to give you some of the info here on OG, Doc, and then you go first. Your level of concern for OG Anunoby, and then obviously in more of the macro, your Knicks. Okay. We got news today. It is a left hamstring strain, according to Shams Charania. He's day to day. He is questionable for game 3. They have not ruled him out yet. And so that's what we know. Maybe it's come out if it's grade 1, grade 2. I have not seen that. I saw one tweet from Shams and it did not have what grade it was. Okay. Jason, Kai, if you guys maybe take a second look to see if that info has come out. But Doc, we obviously, we saw OG grab the back of the right leg. Okay. And then stand for a few seconds, call out. And then that's what we know. Okay. So it's a little murky here, but Doc, go ahead, man. Your level of concern for OG and your Knicks.
Definitely concerned only because OG has a history of this. So, I don't know if this is the beginning of the end for him, like kind of like how Aaron Gordon has been struggling with a hamstring injury for 2 years. From what I saw here, he tensed up because it was a potential turnover. And then he just like jolted back and then he felt a pull and he tried to dunk, which probably made it worse. And then he had to call himself to get out. So the fact that he's day to day tells me that it's definitely a grade 1 at this point. If it was worse than that, they would say he's out for game 3, unless they're just trying to, psych out Nick Nurse and kind of make him prepare differently. But I really see that, if I'm the Knicks, there's 2 ways to approach this. if he plays, he might make it worse, and then now you lose him for the whole playoffs, right? Or you might say, okay, if because he did kind of have like a little issue this year, and he ended up playing. Like he just left the game, but he ended up playing. So maybe he plays, and then we sweep him. Hopefully, I know that's ambitious. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, sweep," but from what I've seen, they could potentially sweep him and by Monday, there's not even a conversation. Philly's in Cancun already. Um, and then he has all this time. Hopefully, Cleveland is able to extend that series with the Pistons so that he has all that time to rest now. So that's the way I would look at it. Because if you play that game where, hey, let's rest him for the rest of this series, they might tie it up 2-2 with no OG and Anunoby. And now you're in a battle. And then OG comes back. He's rusty because when OG does come back from injuries, he's always rusty the next game. I mean, he's missing shots, he's missing passes, he's getting stopped when he's driving to the lane, missing free throws. Like he's always rusty that first game back. So we don't have time for a game 6, rusty game. So that's or game 5. So honestly speaking, my concern is very high because of his history of hamstring injuries. I think it is a grade 1, but I guess we'll see. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be the one to say I would play him game 3 and 4 if he's questionable because he could possibly help us win those 2 games and then you have a lot of time to rest. But flip side is he could get injured again game 3. So we really don't know. Hamstrings, they say, are tricky and it's something you just got to either play with. And I would leave it up to OG. If OG feels like he can go, then I would let OG go ahead and play.
Doc, I'm going to stay with you here for a minute. I want just to downshift you two into if OG misses game 3 and ... who needs to step up? I just want to put this in here. McBride was in the closing group last night. I can't decide who has worse shot selection, Deuce McBride or Gabe Vincent. I don't see.
Mhm.
Sell me on Deuce McBride or pick someone else who you think needs to step up. But I was like, Deuce McBride is in your closing lineup in like the closest playoff game in the last 25 years based on all the lead changes. I mean, they won. Okay, I'm not banging on Mike Brown here, but help me out with Deuce McBride. What am I missing, man, other than bad shot selection?
I mean, I love Deuce only because for some reason he's a fan favorite. I get annoyed with the whole Deuce every time he shoots because I think it adds unneeded pressure to someone who's very streaky, and then
Yes.
I don't know if it gets in his head and he starts missing more. But the real value to Deuce McBride is his ability to defend and defend on the perimeter. The only thing is that he's an undersized 2 guard. He's not a point guard. There's been times when Jalen Brunson injured his ankle previously where he was relied upon to be the point guard, and it was horrible with him initiating the offense. And then he got injured, and then Tyler Kolek really showed what a real point guard looks like. So that's my only thing with Deuce is that even though he's a great defender, he's undersized. Now, if he gets open for a 3, he's streaky, so he could help us win games. But personally, it's a whole committee thing. It's shooting guard by committee, and as I predicted previously, thank God I was right, is that Mikal Bridges is having a very good season. I mean, sorry, a very good series. I know, because I was correcting myself. So he had a very good series. So all in all, that's good because they were doing shooting guard by committee with Mikal Bridges, with Jordan Clarkson and Deuce McBride. And it looks like they're trying to bring Shamit back into the fold now. But what I would like to see in terms of who would step up would be Diawara. And they were starting him randomly throughout the series. I mean, not throughout the series, but throughout the season. And so I'm hoping that they can instill some confidence with him, put him out there with the group because he's long, he has ability to defend. He shoots a really good percentage. He's confident, especially when Landry Shamet is out there with them. And so I just think that though, he would be the one to step up. Maybe give him a spot start just to, give him some confidence, get him lathered up, and then take him out and then put him back in with a different lineup. But another player I'd really like to see, and this is my last part of this, would be Sohan. Jeremy Sohan needs to be in the fold starting now because when and if we move on to whoever it is, whether it's Detroit, we'll be thankful that we activated this guy, got him some confidence, got him some reps with the lineup because he's he's been shooting better with our shooting coach that we took from the Dallas Mavericks. And I think Jeremy Sohan's ability to defend, he's also able to play the five if we go small. So he might be what we need at this point and allow OG to rest. But we got to still some confidence by giving him some reps.
Wow, those number 20 jerseys are going to be flying off the shelves at Madison Square Garden after that tout by Dr. X. I saw him last night after Huck Porty got 3 fouls in like a minute and a half, and they dusted off Sohan. I couldn't even believe it. All right, Ashley Neville, your level of concern for OG Anunoby and the Knicks, in the more macro view.
It is pretty concerning. I mean, when you take a look at his stats from the first round alone, he averaged 22 points. He had shooting 61% from the field, 56% from three. So he's been contributing in all facets of the game, not just offensively, but defensively as well. But to Doctor's point is the fact that Deuce McBride, he might not be confident in his shot. He might not knock everything down, but that's what you have Jalen Brunson for. McBride has been helping on the defensive end. When you take a look at Paul George in the fourth quarter going 0 for 5 from the field. I mean, that came from, a collective unit, that not just OG, but McHale, McBride, all three of them did really well. They did their part. I mean, they were forcing terrible shots. I mean, Philly only scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. So I think other guys for the Knicks can step up. Also, we didn't mention the fact that Mitchell Robinson was out with an illness. So we saw how he was able to contribute in game one. Even though he wasn't scoring points, he was still dominating in other ways. So do I think they can win the series without OG? No, but maybe they could do 1 or 2 games without him. But we'll see. But I think this does hurt when you consider everything he does, even the little things that don't show up on the box score. So, I think they can afford 1 or 2 games without him, but anything more, it's going to be a tough series for them.
Ooh, great take. Dwight Walton, come on in here, man. Level of concern for OG.
I think I'm on the same page as Doc and Ashley here. My level of concern, first off, to my cousin's point, he has a history of this, and he astutely brought up Aaron Gordon, who's been dealing with this for the past 2 years, and a major reason why the Denver Nuggets are in Cancun right now and not pursuing an NBA championship. So that's the concern for me with Anunoby. Now, my cousin again said the bad part was that OG tried to dunk on that same possession. What that does tell me is that maybe the hamstring pull isn't that bad. And Chris Haynes on NBA radio earlier today said that he spoke to somebody close to OG Anunoby and said that OG from his own mouth said he's okay. Now, what does that mean? Is this truly a day-to-day situation? Is it a game-by-game situation to where, in all likelihood, OG Anunoby doesn't play in game 3? And if they lose, does he come back and give it a go in game 4? This truly is a day-by-day / game-by-game scenario. As far as I'm concerned, OG wants to be out there. And this really sucks because it tends to happen a lot. OG Anunoby is going through by far the best stretch of his NBA career in terms of his offense productivity. He's never been hotter than this. He's never been more consistent than this. And if you take away the obvious contributions from Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, you can say that OG Anunoby has been the Knicks' most valuable player up to this point in the NBA playoffs. So his presence is paramount for the Knicks going forward. So the hope is that it's not as serious as previous injuries. He does have a history, but I think this will be truly a day-to-day / game-by-game scenario. I don't think he plays game 3. If the Knicks lose game 3, you'll more than likely see Anunoby play in game 4. Is there some concern? Absolutely. But again, game by game, day by day.
All right, you guys rock, man. AM Pfeffer, let's keep it rolling here, my man. Your level of concern as a part-time Knick fan, a quasi-Knick fan, a former Knick fan, a blended. Are you There's a multi-instrumentalist. Are you a multi-NBA teamist?
We know that I am, but at this time of the season, when we're in the playoffs, I'm full-time Knicks fan, or at least close enough to. Extreme concern, severe, drastic, intense, utmost concern for OG Anunoby. Look, my baseline with OG is just concern, going just before the game ever starts, right? That's his history of injury, and here we are seeing him get hurt, and we know that when he does, he takes time off. It's right, to your point, my man's been the MVP. It's unquestionable. The last 5 games, OG Anunoby is the MVP of the New York Knicks going back to the Atlanta series. The last 5 games have been unbelievable. But more to the point, the core 4 has been unbelievable. They're playing as well together as you can possibly imagine, as any other team's core 4 would hope to play through the playoffs, up 2 on Philly quickly, easily in this series. Well, now you're taking out the flow of that core 4 no matter what happens, and you're messing with it, whether he can even go in game 3 and he's not 100%, or whether he's got to sit out 1, 2, maybe even more games. I am drastically concerned. I don't like it.
Yeah, man, I don't either. My concern level is very, very high for OG Anunoby, fellas. And you guys have made just a bunch of tremendous points here. This is potentially this is an earmuffs scenario for the insufferable Dr. X. He does not want to hear what I'm about to say. He doesn't. Okay, I got to go back to old school Vince Vaughn, Will Ferrell, the kitchen with the little kid and cuss words. Okay, put some earmuffs on. This is potentially devastating for the New York Knicks. I don't mean to say that with a chuckle, but this might keep them from winning a title. Like, I use the word potentially. I use the word might. Okay, we just don't know yet. All right, OG's their 3rd most important player. I can't say he's been their MVP. You know who I think their MVP has been? Brunson. But you guys, you can't. Again, I hope. By the way, I want to make Dwight. I completely agree with you. I do not think OG plays Game 3. I think the Knicks try to go win one without him and kind of just squash the series. Right. I do anticipate Embiid to be back for Game 3 too. Okay. So I think they're going to be down OG. Philly's going to get Embiid. Frankly, I think Philly's going to win Game 3. Okay. And then I think the Knicks are going to be like, all right, OG, we need you. And then I think he comes back. What you get at that point, if you get him at that point, right? But I agree with your logic there. Let me go into some of the injury stuff here. If you lose your 3rd best player or one of your big 3, you're screwed. Okay. Take Tobias Harris off of Detroit. They're screwed. Take Mobley off of Cleveland. They're screwed. Take Paul George off of Philly or Edgecombe because they're kind of, they're screwed. All right. Look around the playoffs. You got to stay healthy. Luka's out. The Lakers are screwed. Durant was out. The Rockets were screwed. Aaron Gordon out. The Nuggets were screwed. Wait, there's more. Franz Wagner out. Immediately the Magic go from 3-1, you guessed it, to screwed. Okay. Brandon Ingram. Emmanuel Quickly, more the Ingram thing, because they could have won that without Quickly with Ingram, but he blew a tire, wasn't there at the end of the series. Again, class, screwed, okay? And then finally, Jason Tatum in Game 7. Celtics screwed. They would have won that game with him, in my opinion. And yeah, Dwight, you always like to say this. I am ready to die on that hill. Okay, Philly is not out. They're not out of this series, guys. We are on serve heading back to Philly. What do they say? Playoff series doesn't begin until the road team gets a win, right? That hasn't happened yet. So Philly's right where they need to be. And they played a very good game in Game 2, I thought, which should give them some confidence. But that's all I got to say, man. It's a big concern. I hope OG can come back for Game 3, Game 4, and have no problems at all. Injuries absolutely suck. Somebody was saying about the word hate, right? I don't hate anybody. I'm a very peaceful guy. I do hate injuries, though. All right, let's put a clock on this one. Doc, you're back on the clock. 60-second clock. Grade Karl-Anthony Towns in these playoffs. Let me give you the stats, guys, before you start the timer. 18.6 points, 10.5 boards, 6.1 assists, 1.5 blocks, 1.4 steals, 1.5 threes. Ooh la la, the fantasy goodies, baby. And then he's going 60, 50, 90. Okay, with the shooting splits. What grade do you give playoff Cat, Doc?
Crazy.
Well, real quick, I just wanted to add that Jalen Williams has been out. and OKC continues to win.
Very good
That
point.
just
Yeah,
shows you
it's
that's
not
how
affecting
deep they
them
are.
though. Yes.
And yeah,
That's
that's
an
why they're tier
anomaly.
one by themselves.
That's
Yeah,
an
that's an anomaly.
anomaly.
Absolutely, I agree with you. But I was pointing that out to say that they're different. That's it. But hey, Kat, to me, when you pose this question in the group chat, is A minus for me, and the minus is he does stupid fouls still. I thought he was past this. Like he knew Mitchell Robinson was out. He knew Embiid was out. You know, this is you're supposed to be licking your chops. You know, he's supposed to be like, all right, this is what I gotta do. But hey, stay focused, stay focused. And what does he
Right.
do? He starts playing to the crowd. He starts playing to the refs. He starts doing all these like what? Oh, you know, like just stop all that. Stop. Like if you set a screen, stop kicking your leg out and tripping the guy. You just blew up the whole play. Let them blow up the whole play. You don't blow it up by not setting a proper screen, and then looking surprised like you did something wrong. Then you get one foul that's stupid, and you get two fouls that's stupid. They leave you in, and you see Huck Porty's over there. You're in practice with the guy. You got to know that he's not the best either. He can't shoot like you
No.
could shoot. He doesn't know his value. So the fact that he doesn't know his value, I give him A minus. You got to be better with the foul stuff.
All right. I love it. I love it. My answer is a lot of copy and paste of what you just said, man. Dwight, you're up next, and then we'll go out to LA. You're on the clock. Great Cat in these playoffs.
That's pretty much copy and paste for me as well, Cuz and Rick. It's outside of the foul trouble, I'm gonna give Cat an A. Not an A plus, not an A minus, an A. If you peel back the emotion and the New York City media and New York Knicks Nation and all the craziness that comes with playing in the big market, Cat has been the perfect the perfect Robin to Brunson's Batman. He is doing his job. The only thing is, I would like to see him participate more in the mid to low post, but whether we think Mike Brown was playing possum throughout the entire season, the Knicks have obviously unlocked their version of Nikola Jokic in Karl-Anthony Towns by initiating most of the offense through Towns in the elbow/free throw line area. As long as that continues, Towns gets an A from me and is the perfect Robin to Brunson's Batman. Look at those statistics. The splits you talked about, 60, 50, and 90, as a big, that's pretty impressive. He gets an A from me.
Without the minus. Okay, let's go to LA. AM, you first, and then Ashley in that order, and put AM on the clock.
Yeah, look, we all know what I've said about Cat in the past and Naaman Potemkin Village. I mean, anything out of this guy that was bigger than potentially D or C minus coming to the playoffs is all gravy in my opinion, but I'm giving him an A minus as well. He has been fantastic. He has absolutely outplayed what my expectations were of him. Sure, the foul trouble. Sure, he should be on the low block a little bit. There was that a dunk in the fourth quarter last night that was like, what are you doing there, Cat? But he's fighting his own teammates for rebounds. This is a different Cat. The way he's moving in space, different Cat. The way he's facilitating sometimes at the top of the post, different Cat. I love it. I love what Mike Brown's done with him. I love how he's put himself in on this. I mean, he had a triple-double in Game 4 in the Atlantic series, right? The splits are incredible, but you're putting up 20, 10, and 10. You're putting up Jokic numbers as a big man. A minus. Great job, Cat. Happy to see you back.
All right, Ashley, what you got?
Yeah. So I would actually give him an A as well, just like Dwight did. I think you need to factor in the fact that it's 27 minutes. He's putting up 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists in 27 minutes. So despite that his game might be a little messy at times, I still have to give him the edge here. 7 assists for a big man means that he's falling into this role of not just dominating the paint, but also being a facilitator, a shot creator as well. I also, like you had mentioned, being the perfect Robin to Brunson's Batman. He's okay with taking a back seat at times. He's okay with not being the superstar, the number one option, which I think maybe he struggled with in the past. Remember earlier in the season, he was like, I don't really know my role here. And then come the playoff time, he knows his role very well. He, like you said, dominating the boards. He's playmaking, shot creating, and then he can also go and get you a bucket. I'm going to have to give him an A. I mean, these numbers don't lie. And he looks like a completely different player. And I'm just loving this version of Cat.
So, and I'm loving all these answers. I'm A- because of the foul trouble. And it's annoying. And I love what you said, Doc. The first foul of game one, he's on the left side of the court, up against the sideline, the 3-point line, sets a screen and sticks his damn big foot out and gets a foul. Dude, come on. You should have scrubbed that out of your game at Kentucky. Oh, wait, but Cal doesn't coach. He just runs them out there. I'm sorry. Cal caught a stray. I'm sorry. Anyway, all right. So I give Cat an A-. But what I am, and we're getting a B+ here from the real LeBron James. Really? I like your name. But a B+ right there. But like I told you guys, we would not be getting this from Cat in that horrible Timberwolves uniform, okay? We are getting this from Cat because he has New York City in his veins right now. And I love to see it. So good for Cat. I give him an A-. All right. We transition to the Wolves again, 60-second clock. I'm going to set this up and I'm going to go first. All right. Did the Wolves get punked in game two? I got to set it up, guys, and then hit the clock. Wolves head coach Chris Finch was asked what he told his team after the game. He said, "We got punked." Okay. Ant-Man said, "Punked is crazy." But Ant-Man kind of agreed with different semantics. Ant-Man said, "My mama used to say hard head makes a soft ass." And then one of the reporters sort of paraphrased his press conference saying Ant wasn't happy with the decision-making and turnovers, said they came out too cool, and credited San Antonio with playing like a desperate team. Okay, all sensible stuff. Put me on the clock. The answer is no. The Timberwolves did not get punked. They just got blew out. And you say that's not how you say it. If you're Gary Payton, that's how you say it, and that's where I got it. They got blew out, okay? That's what Gary Payton would say. This was the most predictable game of the entire playoffs. I told Jason and Kai in our production meeting yesterday, this is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be a 30-point beatdown. Place your bets. Cha-ching. Wemby was awful in game one offensively. You knew that was going to change. Fox was terrible in game one. You knew that was going to change. Did y'all really think the Wolves were going to make it a game last night? Really? You did? The Wolves got what they came for in game one. Game two was going through the motions. And then lastly on Finch, he's a hard-ass coach, and I love it. He's trying to hard coach his team and challenge their manhood using the word punk. To me, though, you play this card after getting blew out in a game where you actually were going for it, not a gravy game like this. I'm not mad at Finchy. The results are there, just saying. Let's go to Ashley Neville here next on this question. Do you think the Wolves got punked last night? Do you agree with Coach Finch?
No. I think the Spurs are the better team and have always been the better team. I just think they were playing a little bit too much into Minnesota's physicality, and they were allowing Minnesota to take that, to control the tempo in game one. But I think this has a lot to also do with Greg Popovich being in the game film meetings and going over game one with them and being able to point out what they were doing wrong. I still think Popovich has a hand in this organization, but we just take a look at how they were able to get Wemby involved early and have him not settle for bad shots. Also, in transition, they were able to get going at a quicker pace. De'Aaron Fox, he looked way better, and they set the tone, better ball movement, and also just I think slowing it down a little bit more and making sure that they came out and punched them in the mouth early. And also to mention, the Spurs had 7 guys in double figures. So Minnesota didn't just have one guy to contain. They had 7. And their role players really stepped up too. They had a champagne party with Julian scoring, what? Was it 4 triples in the third quarter? And Minnesota had absolutely no answers for them. So no, they didn't get punked. This is just who the Spurs are, and this is who they've always been. I don't think Minnesota is going to win another game, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Wow, strong stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Although from the Wolves' perspective, but our uniforms still suck. I do stand on that. Dr. X, did the Wolves? They do. You guys pull up a still of one of the Wolves with the white one, the super boring one with the blue. Pull it up. It's the worst uniform I've ever seen. Not just now, ever in the history of the NBA. Dr. X, There it is. Tell me that's not the worst
Yeah.
uniform in the history of the NBA. Seriously.
It gets
What's
the
the
point
try?
across, but yeah, it's pretty mid. Pretty mid.
It's below mid, my friend. All right, Dr. X, you're up, man. Did the Wolves get punked in game 2?
I don't think they got punked. I think ultimately this is just the fact that the Wolves, I would say the Wolves punked the Spurs. You have an injured Anthony Edwards playing on a bone bruise with minutes restriction. Obviously hobbled on some plays, but still effective. Guys that are younger who are known to be defensive guys can't stay in front of him. He's just, baiting them into going this way and that way, and he just gets whatever he wants. Then they start. So I think, if anything, I think it was Ant-Man kind of didn't bring that same punch that he did last game. The Wolves came and accomplished what they came there to do, which was steal home court advantage. And knowing Jaden McDaniels, who I think is the pulse of that team, now I don't even give it to Ant. Ant has like cool sound bites and stuff, has great moments. But I would say Jaden McDaniels is the emotional leader of the team. He'll have them ready for their both home games there, and we'll see what happens there. So I don't think they got punked. They just caught an L.
Man, I love this. All right, let's go back to LA. Let's get AM Pfeffer in here. On the clock, did the Wolves get punked in game 2?
Well, look, I had to look up the term punked. I mean, not that we don't all obviously know what it means, but like if we're getting nuanced in here, I wanted to really think about like what coach is saying, what Ant's responding to, what we're all talking about here. I mean, obviously we get the idea that if you're being punked, you're being humiliated as a victim of a joke. Well, that's not really what it is. It also can mean being physically dominated, bullied, or humiliated. So yeah, my friend, sorry, Cam, but your Wolves got punked. If you lose by more than 30, apparently if you're that humiliated, you got punked. If you're the physical dominant team and you lost all that physical dominance and you let the team that isn't supposed to be as physically dominant beat you by plus 30, you got punked. Not to mention, we're talking about Fox and we're talking about Wemby having really bad games. Well, don't let them have really good games the next game, right? You kept this game somewhat close early in the game and then got destroyed through the rest of it. You're supposed to be physically good enough to go out there and limit these guys. You didn't. They crushed you. You made them look like the superstars that they can be. You got punked.
Dwight, do you agree?
You know what? Punked is a very strong word. What I want to say, and again, the reason why some of us are hesitant to have the Spurs winning a championship where they haven't been in the playoffs since 2017, and the only players with any playoff experience are De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes, and Luke Cornett, is because of their inexperience. Well, I think the Spurs showed a lot of gumption last night. They showed a lot of resilience because all they heard for 2 days was how the Timberwolves are the reigning two-time. They've gone to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. They're athletic. They have experience. They seem to be stronger in terms of man-to-man matchups in the series. Yet the Spurs came out and physically and mentally dominated that game last night. So I don't think the Wolves were punked. I just think the Spurs are showing a lot more than we're willing to give them credit for. Punked is a street term. Sure, we can say they got punked, but I don't think so. And I think what the Spurs showed is that the Wolves made them wake up. The Wolves are in this series. I think the Wolves will win one of the 2 games in San Antonio. To my cousin's point, I love Jaden McDaniels' moxie. I still think Anthony Edwards is the emotional leader on that team, but we're in for a long series here. Punked? No. Resilient for the Spurs? Yes.
Woo, good debate. All right, so we are going to welcome our guests on right now.
Rick, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
One last quick thing. I'm going to throw a little Coming to America out again at you. Mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. If your coach is saying you got punked, you got punked.
Well done, Am.
I love it, man. I love it. All right, so let's now bring on Chastity Melvin, former WNBA All-Star, and Megan McPeak, who is now a play-by-play announcer for the USA Network. And let's talk about the upcoming WNBA season. Megan McPeak, Chastity Melvin. It's the crew here. It is Rick Kamla, Dwight Walton, Dr. Phil McDonald, A.M. Pfeffer, and Ashley Neville, who's in her first full day with us here. We're very excited about that. They're out in their LA studios. Y'all look great. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Can
Thanks
you hear me?
for having me.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Meg left
you.
me. Actually, Rick, I'm with Monumental.
Wow.
Meg's with USA. So Meg's big time with USA. I'm with Monumental, so that's my mentor up there. But yeah, we're excited to be here.
Yeah, so Megan, fan of your work, watching you. Yep, I did watch some Wizards basketball last year. I did, Megan. I'm guilty as charged.
We appreciate that, Rick. We appreciate that.
Yes. Well, I'm a big fan of Chris Miller and Drew Gooden and yourself. But I want to start with a feel good here. Okay. Kai and Jason, run the video of the send-off that the Wizards gave Megan, knowing that she's going to the play-by-play ranks with USA. Go ahead and hit that.
Uh-oh.
They showered
Okay.
They showered her with love. I did see that.
Megan,
I was paying
Megan,
attention.
okay, anyway, so Megan, talk about that experience. It looked fantastic, and they were kind of mobbing on you and stuff like that. How'd that feel, man?
Honestly, it was pretty cool. And I think Drew after it said it best. I was not expecting, to get anything, let alone one of the game balls from that game. And the fact that a former NBA player who hadn't had an opportunity to get a lot of game balls in his career made note of how rare that is to get game balls out there. I was beyond kind of blown away. I knew AG wanted to do something because very unconventionally, he told me before the game, win or lose, I want to do a walk-off with you. And as you guys know, we ended up losing that game. So we were doing something very unconventional, which is why it was kind of not awkward, but it was odd for me to get into the conversation and give it to AG because I didn't know where we were going to go with this. But in true Anthony Gill fashion, he was prepared and had backups. And it's funny because as young as these guys are, the joy, and it might sound super cliche, but being around this team for the last few years, especially with what they've been doing, trying to rebuild and retool and reset the culture, the excitement and the joy that you see these guys have, it's not just for the cameras. It's not, fake. They truly do enjoy one another. So what you see in them mobbing me is just the kind of accumulation of the relationship that I built with them over the years. I truly feel like I had a locker room of little brothers, whether that was good, bad, or indifferent. But those, I'm going to be rooting for those guys for the foreseeable future because they have been counted out, knocked down, and no one's really kind of keeping an eye on them until they got Trey and AD. So for that moment to be kind of the last bit of things was really heartwarming for me because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what they were planning to do. And all season long in the few wins that we did have, that was kind of something Bub had started was the towel and kind of guys doing something silly, whether it was tying my shoelaces together with one of the players that I was interviewing. So to kind of have it flipped on me was kind of cool.
And Rick,
that's amazing.
Rick,
go ahead, Dwight.
If I can interject here, I can confirm what Megan is talking about. I've been around the Wizards team a couple of times. As you guys know, my godson is Keyshawn George, so I had the opportunity to be around that team, and the respect that they showed Megan on that night, it's well deserved. The respect they have for her during the interviews, they honestly feel that Megan is a part of that team. And that to me was just symbiotic of what basically the relationship she had forged with those players. So I can confirm it. It was genuine. It was authentic. It wasn't for the cameras. Megan deserved all that she got. And listen, the basketball gods are definitely on her side, and it's just going to follow her wherever she goes for the rest of her basketball career. And I mean that sincerely.
So, Chastity, I want to get you talking about the Mystics. I'm officially intrigued, okay? Lauren Betts. Who doesn't love Lauren Betts? Hello. And help me out. Georgia Amore. Help me out with her last name.
Yes.
Georgia
Amore. But I know she's coming back. And
think of it like A more because I want more.
Okay. So I'm overcomplicating it. Thank you for that. But she was hurt last year, high pick, so she should help out the cause a lot. So how much better are the Mystics going to be this year? Do you think they could maybe even make the playoffs, Chastity?
Well, it's going to be an intriguing year again for the Mystics because they're so young. And Amore hasn't played a single game yet. Does have a lot of talent. So super excited, though. You got Lauren Betts inside with Shakira Austin and then Kiki Iriafen. So, yeah, really excited to see what they do. And then they picked up some great young talent in Cody McMahon. Also, Rory Harmon made the roster. So she's on the roster. They're going to be fast. They're going to be quick, but they're still very young. So it's going to be intriguing.
And Montreal's Cassandra Prosper. Don't forget.
Yes, that's right. Shout out to Canadian. My bad. I was still thinking she was going to try to help Hidalgo out, so I got to get used to that. Like, I can't believe she entered the draft, but kudos for her. That's great.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm intrigued. I am. I'm very intrigued. I like the young core. Just got to let it grow, let it build, let it develop. Ashley Neville, come on in here. You can ask Megan and or Chastity a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Megan, I would love to ask, in the past, I know what it's like to cover teams that have really bad records and struggling. How, as a reporter, do you maintain that positivity in your questions? And how do you keep, positive energy going and flowing throughout that organization? And then also in your writing and reporting?
For me, it is as simple as tell the obvious. Like in a situation like this, the last couple of years with the Wizards, you have to obviously note the obvious. Like the record is what it is. That aside, where can you find the positives in what is happening within this record? That's, for example, prior to injury, Keyshawn George and his three-point shooting percentage beginning of the season versus prior to injury, whether that's Bub Carrington, his paint touches, and how he is making the right read and the right pass off of those paint touches. Those small, as the front office like to call them, like the incremental wins that fans might not see show up in a box score or on an everyday basis. But because I'm behind the scenes and seeing the work that they're putting in at shoot-arounds, at practices, I can see where the influence is coming in, where those wins are coming in. So I would look at it from like a 10 to 15 game package and say, okay, this was a focus for Alex on his rim protection, not necessarily the blocks, but how much is he altering shots when he's not getting that full-blown block shot? What is he doing there? When it comes to on-ball defense for Sharif Cooper, because that was something they challenged him with at the beginning of the season, was being better one-on-one in his matchups. How many times is he getting blown by and recovering, or is the blow by happening because it's part of what they want to do with their defensive coverages? So finding those small positives within the growth and their development, that was a huge thing for Will Dawkins and Michael Winger when they took over. Was you're going to see some nights where it is not great basketball to watch as a basketball fan, whether you are a casual fan or a purist. There's going to be nights where it's tough, and there were nights where it's tough, but they were honest about that from the beginning. But when you see game 1 versus game 82, are you seeing a difference in the way these guys look? Are you seeing a difference in the way the offense is moving or the defense is defending teams? And how does that look, and where can you find the win? So it was understanding what they were focusing on when they took over, and then utilizing that to my basketball knowledge and my experience doing the job of how I'm going to cover a team who is not focused on winning, but is focused on developing, so that when they do get the Trae Young piece, the Anthony Davis piece, prior to that, it was the Marcus Smart piece, the Malcolm Brogdon piece, CJ McCollum. when they get those pieces that are going to help them learn and develop how to play in games and make the right reads and figure out what the solutions are to mistakes that they were making maybe in game 10, 12, and 15, what that looks like in game 60, 75, and 82. Finding that narrative and helping tell those stories so that when it gets to the point where it now will be in the future, that I'll have the ability to watch it of like the fruits of their labor. All of that previous, now fans can see, oh, okay, that's what Megan, Chris, and Drew were talking about, or what Christy and Tony were talking about in studio, why they kept harping on that. So finding those positives and telling the story so that now in year 2, 3, 4, 5 of the successes, why they are successful.
Great question. Great answer. Chastity, I think we might have Megan making some history here. Based on that answer right there, Megan may become the first play-by-play / coach at the same time in WNBA history. My goodness, what an answer. Holy cow. Dr. X, come on in here, man. Talk to these ladies about the dub.
Thank you, Megan. Thanks for joining the show. Chastity, thank you as well. I wasn't there the last time you were there. I watched the show as well. So thanks for everything that you bring to it. And thank you for tolerating my cousin Dwight for all these years.
Oh, he's the
best. Gee, thanks, cuz. Well,
I got you. So Megan, my question is actually for you. And what's cool is I see your name is McPeak. My last name is McDonald. Never seen that with the Mick before. That's pretty cool. So I'm looking at the Wizards at the peak of their powers. What would their starting lineup be, and who would you have starting? You know, I'm sure they're going to do some changes right now, but who would you start, and where and how good do you think they will be? Do you think they'll be a playoff team? Do you think they'll be like the new Charlotte Hornets? You know, who would you start, and how good do you think they'll be, the Wizards, this year?
Assuming no roster changes are made as of, like, let's assume they go with the roster that they have right now, because I don't know what moves they're going to try and make. I don't know who they're going to look at drafting. So let's go with this roster. Now let's assume everyone is healthy. If I'm Brian Keefe, this is a good problem to have because you get to pick and choose. And I think it can also be dependent on matchup. And that's where I would lean on Chaz from her coaching experience is like, do you go with a starting lineup and keep it the same all the time? Or do you go based on who you're playing? Because you could have a team where they deploy a double big lineup. Think of the Cavs with Mobley and Allen starting. So do you match that, or do you go small and quick to try to alleviate some of that and catch them on their heels? Assuming you have a healthy Anthony Davis, a healthy Trae Young, a healthy Keyshawn George, and a healthy Alex Sarr, I think that's your starting four right there. And then you can kind of pick and choose who that fifth player is. If you want to go with more length, you could throw a Bilal Coulibaly in there. Or do you want to keep having him come off the bench? You could also throw a Trey Johnson in there if you want to go for some shooting power right off the jump. Or you can have him come off the bench. Assuming the roster doesn't change and all you add is that draft pick, depending on where they fall, and everyone is healthy, this is probably the best situation Brian Keefe will be in come preseason game number 1. Because I would rather, if I am a coach, Chaz, correct me if I'm wrong, I would rather have to make a hard decision than have to look down the end of my bench and figure out who I'm going to play.
No, for
I like
sure.
it. And so to both of you, where do you have them placing in terms? Do you think they would be a playoff contender, or would they make the playoffs or play in? If you're allowed to
right
answer that.
now, now, I mean, I'm allowed to answer it because I'm no longer with the company. That's why I jumped in to have Chaz's back just in case. I think right now, assuming, like I said, everything is the way it is, because you have had the last couple of seasons where it has been 15, 16, 17 win season, I think you have to aim to have at least a 35 win season. And the goal right now should be playoffs so that maybe you end up in the play-in. But if they are going to have a healthy AD, because let's be real, he is aging, as is Trae, although Trae is a younger version, is younger than AD. But with them being older in their career, they want to win. AD has made it very clear he is in that win now situation. So your focus has to be, and your mindset has to be on winning to try to alleviate them maybe leaving. Like, that's what I think they have to look at, is if they can get AD to remain and not leave because he wants to be in a situation where a playoff spot is guaranteed. I think you have to have playoffs in your horizon. And if you end up in the play-in situation, then maybe you can, mess around and end up like we saw with the bubble, where you have an 8 seed in the NBA finals. Who knows? I'm not saying they would make NBA finals. I'm just saying shoot high, so maybe you land where you actually want to be.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Chastity. Yeah, I don't cover the Wizards. I cover the Mystics, but I
like that.
From just my gut feeling, I don't feel like AD is going to be there. I don't know. I'm not sure I would want him to stay. I think it's a guy who's already won a championship. He's been with great leaders. I haven't seen him really excel in the leadership role. And at the end of the day, what's his trade won? So at the end of the day, I don't know. The way I've seen certain interviews and just reading all the sports articles that I do, that I'm sure that we all do, the tone he's already setting in this offseason is like, I'm trying to be politically correct and say, I love what they're doing in DC, but in the back of my mind, like, I'm out of here. Okay. So that's what I feel, but I could be totally wrong. So without AD, I don't see them in the play-in or the playoffs.
Gotcha.
So Chaz, to continue on that, draft lottery is this Sunday. So do you feel that where the Wizards end up in that draft lottery, hopefully in the top 4, do you think, and I agree with you, because if you read the tea leaves with the way Anthony Davis is talking, do you think Will Davis and the Wizards are positioning themselves to package Davis in some way, shape, or form? Because let's say best case scenario, the Wizards get AJ DeBanza. Do you think Anthony Davis should be in the plans of the Wizards going forward?
I don't. I mean, if I was the GM, I am not. I'm trying to send AD somewhere, package him out, and get something really good in return, in which you can right now. And also someone who really wants to join a young team. I'm not sure at this point he really wants to be on a team that's fighting to get into the play-in. And I understand that with his age and where he's been in LA. And I'm with Meg. I've watched the Wizards. I mean, I've watched my people. I support them. I love what they're doing. I do feel like they could be a Charlotte team, like the Charlotte Hornets. I think they can arise in the second half of the season, but I just don't see AD fitting in with them either way.
Man, love the answer. Keeping it real is what we love. And Chastity Melvin is definitely doing that. Y'all are great, man. Let's keep this rolling. A.M. Pfeffer, come on in here, brother.
By the way, to everybody on the Chastity, Megan, thank you so much for being here. Great to meet both of you. I can't wait to see how the Wizards get off of Anthony Davis' $58.5 million contract this year and $63 million player option next year. I can't wait to see who around the league is ready to take that on. Maybe they should be calling Milwaukee.
Keep in mind,
they seem to be open for everything. Yeah.
This is the same front office that got off of Bradley Beal's contract with a no trade clause.
Yeah, Matt Ishbia, true, but how many new owners are in the league coming in this year? He was ready to make a splash, right?
I'm just saying.
The Wizards could use a new owner right now.
Yeah, great point.
But
I'm just saying, they made magic out of
right.
that one.
They did.
Somebody will take them. Somebody will take AD.
Speaking of newness, this is really the question that I wanted to ask both of you. I'm intrigued by a particular team that is joining the WNBA this year. They were actually the same namesake, you might know, back in 2000 to 2002, the Portland Fire. But here they are again, over 20 years later, no affiliation with the previous franchise. They're a brand new franchise, although they took on the same name, obviously. They and the Connecticut Sun don't exactly have the best odds this year to win WNBA championship. I think their best player is Sugg Sutton at this point, right? Really the only experienced player on the team, a few others, but I want to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you think their chances are to make some noise this year? And what do you see they should do over the next 2 or 3 years to build to really start coming up through the ranks? And, now that there are 15 teams, I'm fascinated by the Fire. I really am.
Yeah. You go, babe.
Okay. I was giving you the space. Yeah, it's so funny enough. I actually had their preseason game against Seattle, and their coach Alex Sarama is doing things unconventional to what we are used to when it comes to a head coach. They didn't do shoot around that day. This was also their first preseason game. They did training camp off campus in Eugene versus staying right in Portland. And he is doing this kind of like read and react style of offense where like he doesn't necessarily have a true set play. He just allows the players to try to figure things out as they're reading the game. And it was kind of like the way the game started, it was kind of rocky. And I was like, ooh, this could be a long, long night. But as the game went on, they started to figure things out. And, Shug didn't play because of an injury. Bridget Carlton hadn't joined them at that point because she had just finished her overseas commitment. She was physically in the United States, but not there yet. And keep in mind, that's who they went with their very first overall pick in the expansion draft was Bridget Carlton. So they've got some experience peppered throughout the roster. But my preface would be for both them and the tempo to have patience. Do not have the recency bias of the Golden State Valkyries and the success they had in year one. You cannot duplicate that. That was lightning striking at the right moment, at the right time for the Valkyries and Natalie Nakase. She did a fantastic job. I'm saying have patience because with two teams expanding, you're trying to also figure out the free agency. This was almost like a perfect storm, if you will, of trying to put two rosters together in the midst of the free agency frenzy and figuring out what you have. But I am intrigued by Portland, but I don't think that they will have the success that we saw with Golden State right off the bat where they get into the playoffs. I think they're going to take time. And that's something that their general manager and their head coach has both said is like, we want to build this the right way. So they're even preaching patience.
Well, they're going to have a lot of patience with Portland Fire because they're going to be at the bottom of the barrel. I'm just going to keep it real here. I know we've talked about Sarama's system. I actually read some of the book, and, it's hit or miss. I was thinking maybe I should have wrote a book. I would be the head coach. At the end of the day, I like some of the transformational things he talks about. But with this young team and you don't bring in vets and then you say, let's read and react to everything, you're going to have patience with that. Connecticut Sun, listen, I like what Morgan Tuck did with Connecticut Sun. They bought BG. They bought a great vet inside. They also have Anissa Morrow, Sanaya Rivers, Lacan. You have a point guard and you have a center. Look, you could surprise some teams, okay? Not only do you have a center, but you have a dominant center. So I like Connecticut Sun. I'm interested to see how things play out for them. But the Portland Fire, they're going to be at the bottom of the barrel.
So
they brought in a vet. They just have her on the bench.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that. Sylvia Fowles on the bench. Yeah. Kudos to that. That was a bet. When I read that press release, I was like, yes, okay, I got some fire for the fire right now. But it's going to be interesting. That entire roster. I love players. I love players getting contracts. I'm all for women's basketball, women's sports, but I'm not sure and maybe it had to do with the CBA and free agency, but I wasn't really sure what team they were trying to build. But that also comes with a new system. I will give them this, though. There are a lot of new teams in the WNBA with a few new coaches. So there's not a lot of film on them. Like some of the teams you'll see early, like obviously New York, all the teams that have film, so they'll be able to have really good scouts on New York, LA, and the Aces. And who else after that? That's it. Minnesota. That's it pretty much. The rest of the teams pretty much, and Atlanta Dream. The rest of the teams pretty much have new coaches, new systems, totally new rosters. So they'll surprise teams early, and then when it gets to the end of the game, the more veteran teams will win out.
This makes a lot of sense. All right, so you mentioned scouting. Jim Dolan needs to put the insufferable Dr. X on the payroll because I see what Dr. X is doing here. He just asked you ladies for a scouting report on the Washington Wizards, okay? These are the lengths that he goes to as a Knicks fan. He's sweating the Wizards, okay? Dude, Dolan, put this man on the payroll. I mean, he's already busy enough, but dang, trying to make you some more money, Doc. All right, let's so Chastity, and great conversation. I really can't believe, well, anyway, I'll say this. I'm worried about my Lynx, okay? I'm a Minnesota guy, right? I'm worried about my Lynx. I know Nafisa Collier is going to get healthy, stay healthy. Well, hopefully stay healthy. But she's a tremendous player. Top 2 or 3 in the game, right? But, okay, no Jessica Shepard. She's in Dallas. No Alana Smith. She's in Dallas. No Bridget Carlton. She's in Portland, okay? And now you've got this kind of 3-guard thing, right? With McBride, and you've got Courtney Williams, who just was a phenomenal player last year. And now you've got Olivia Miles. Okay, so you're like really loaded in the backcourt. To me, you're thin up front, especially to begin the season. I'm worried about my Lynx. Chastity, you first. Talk me off the ledge, or are you going to push me off the ledge?
No. I'm gonna talk you off the ledge. First of all, you got to give her head coach some props, okay? Cheryl Reeves every year.
Come on, she's
every year people question her draft picks. Okay, I don't think she talked about it. She didn't know she was going to lose Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard. Okay, but hey, show me the money, the player. That's what the players want. Show me the money. Are they worth it? Who knows? We'll find out. But at the end of the day, she still has Courtney Williams and Nafisa Collier, and that's all that matters. They have, like I said, you start with the foundation, a point guard in the center. Nafisa will be back. But listen, what is it? Dorka. Did I say it right, Meg, from UConn? Dorka. Anyways, the center. Dorka Uhas. Yeah, she's going to be good. She actually didn't get a lot of playing time because she was playing behind Alana Smith and Jessica Shepard. She can flat out play inside. And then you got point guards that can feed her the ball where she can actually score. She's not going to have to do much because they're going to drop her dimes where she can actually just go up with the ball and finish. With when I'm talking about Courtney Williams and Olivia Miles. So I like their team. And then, don't sleep on Natasha Howard coming back. All right. She won a championship with the Lynx. So I'm okay. I never go sleep on the Minnesota Lynx. As long as they got Cheryl Reeves, as long as they got some vets, she'll do enough to where they're definitely in the playoffs.
So I need to chill out.
Yeah, you got to chill out.
Okay.
Get way behind the ledge. You're good.
Yeah.
Behind the yellow line.
I can come inside. I can come back inside. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. Now, I legit have a question for both y'all. Megan, you first. Does Caitlin Clark have any pressure on her this year? Okay, it's year 3. We know she played, 13, 14 games last year, a myriad of injuries. I think 4 injuries to 4 different body parts, all this kind of stuff, right? Megan, you first. Is she under a lot of pressure, a medium amount of pressure, no pressure? Talk to me, Caitlin Clark and pressure.
I think it's a mix. I think, yes, she is under pressure from the standpoint of staying healthy. And I understand, it is sports, injuries are going to happen, but you don't want that to become the narrative. And sadly, right now, in my opinion, Chaz, I don't know if you'd agree, the narrative with her is that she can't stay healthy. And she's only going into year 3. So I think the pressure that is there is to stay healthy. Can you remain healthy? And also, too, that's also on the franchise in protecting the player from themselves. And I think that was a huge thing of what they did last year of keeping her out when she wanted to come back towards the end of the season, because they understood her long-term success and our long-term success is predicated on making sure she's healthy. So I think there's pressure both on her and the organization for her to remain healthy and be protected. From a basketball standpoint, listen, she is a fantastic player. I'm not going to say she's generational because I hate that term. And I need to see you more than 3 years in and actually play and be healthy for me to consider you a generational talent. But she's a hell of a talented player. And if she can stay healthy, she has the ability to help turn this Indiana franchise into what they were hoping she could do, especially when you see what they did without her down the stretch last year And can we put some damn respect on Kelsey Mitchell's name?
Please.
Because if not for Kelsey
Agreed.
Mitchell, they would not be in a position that they were last playoffs, okay? Kelsey Mitchell should have been a bigger conversation in the MVP voting last year and the conversation, and she should be in that conversation going into the season. Because if she was not on that roster, Indiana Fever might have been in the lottery this draft class.
100%.
You remember she was so gassed at the end of the year, she was falling apart physically. Kelsey Mitchell was.
Yeah.
Right?
Like they play to the wheel. That's how real ballers do. They play to the wheels fall off.
Hey, I'm with it. All right. So Chastity, talk to me about Caitlin Clark and pressure. And I liked how Megan split it up, right? Pressure to stay healthy, pressure to win. How do you gauge all that for her?
Well, I agree with Meg. I feel like the only pressure that she has really is to stay healthy. And that's hard for young players coming into the league, especially players that are psychotic when it comes to working out. And I've heard that CC is one of those types of players. I've played with them. I've played with players like that. They get injured. You tell them to stay out of the gym. They don't stay out of the gym. And it's super important to, the mental balance between really listening to your body and then wanting to keep getting the workouts in to be the best. So I think for Caitlin Clark, she just needs to release some of that pressure and make sure she stays healthy and focusing on her body. As far as when it comes to basketball with Caitlin Clark, only pressure she has is really to keep the excitement going, be able to knock down threes from the logo. That's what people love about her. So that's the pressure her. I want to say the young athlete that has the most pressure on the Indiana Fever, I would say right now is Aaliyah Boston. I mean, I love big girl basketball. Meg knows that. Dwight knows that. But Aaliyah is right here on Asia Wilson's heels, okay? She wants to be up there with the Asias, the Stewies, the Nafisa Collier, and I think this is the year for her to do that. And if she does that, that gets Indiana Fever over the hump.
Let me try this. Caitlin Clark from the logo, the beginning of that State Farm commercial. By the way, it's by far the best State Farm commercial they've ever put out. And to me, it's an iconic commercial that 10 years from now, they're going to be able to run that same exact commercial. You know what I'm saying? And it still has the same like hit to it, like the old Magic and Bird and Isaiah ads back in the 80s that we thought were so dope, right? I love that Caitlin Clark commercial. Shout out to State Farm for that. So Dr. X, Dwight, somebody else come in here. You guys got some more questions for Megan and or Chastity?
Just give me the mindset of the WNBA players when it comes to injuries. You said until the wheels fall off. And not that I was a professional baller, but that's how I think too. If I can walk, if I can run, if I can jump, but it hurts, I'm playing, right? And so I kind of like what Anthony Edwards did. Doctors gave their opinion, but ultimately he made the decision. And, they won game one, which is a very important game to win. How do you think the injuries are managed in the WNBA, and what are the ladies' mentality when it comes to injuries, like playing through an injury or telling the staff, I want to play, and it's their decision? What is that dynamic like in the WNBA?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, the front office gets more involved, with certain players. It also depends on if you're a star, if you're a player coming off the bench, and obviously you're fighting for a contract. I mean, more often than not, you're playing hurt. But a lot of the stars in the WNBA, like you see with Anthony Edwards in the NBA, they want to play, even collegiate athletes. And I just go by the old school rule. A lot of us that really, I say that if you're a real baller, you ask yourself, am I hurt or am I injured? Because you're never going to be, you're going to be healthy for a while, but you're going to have some nicks and bruises and you're going to have some pains that hurt. But just listening to your trainer, listening to the doctors, and just knowing your body. And I think that with this younger generation, with all the access they have to different doctors, different trainers, different medical staffs, and getting to know themselves as far as their nutrition, their mental health. Like they have more access to people that help them with mental health battles that they go through. So the younger generation really knows their body. So it's really up to them. So Anthony Edwards, he knew he could go out there and play, probably not to his best, but he really ignited his team and got that win on the road. So my thing with some of these younger players like Caitlin Clark's, and we've all seen it before. Like I played with Elena Beard. She injured her foot, and a lot that really hurt us Mystics going into the playoffs. They kind of rushed her back, and I was one of the main ones. I was like Big Perk. Like If I see my player and you can barely
Mm,
walk, I don't really want you in the game. Like there's different
mm.
there's
Yep.
different
It's
avenues. There's
situational.
different situations for athletes. But you love Elena Beard. I mean, she was such a fighter to come back and play on one foot.
Hmm.
So that's why I was really happy when she got to the Sparks, got completely healthy, and then was able to win a championship. So it's a thin line. It's a thin line, and so you have to balance that with just the pressure and really knowing your body.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining that to my cousin Dwight.
Oh, stop it. Come on. I would play.
He's old school though. Like the old school coach is like, "Are you hurt or you
He,
injured?"
no,
If you come
he
out and you
calls me the
put your
most.
uniform on, you got to play. Otherwise, come out in dress clothes. That's the answer.
He he called me insensitive because Rick and I are always advocating for the players to kind of push the envelope. Like, if you can play, play. And we're not saying, like, hurt yourself and end up like Grant Hill and have a surgery and all that good stuff. But there's a thin line. But sometimes I just feel like this generation, they grew up inside. They weren't on that. I don't know if you saw that Instagram post where that merry-go-round where kids would just be
Yeah,
falling
I
off
mean,
and they go.
they definitely didn't grow up on the dirt courts. Okay, well, I mean, I
Yeah,
heard
Definitely
RJ
not.
Barrett and some of those guys, some of the Canadian guys are talking about they played on the dirt court. So, I mean, you got to
yeah.
know your body type. Anthony Edwards, obviously growing up in Georgia, I know he played on some dirt courts,
Hmm.
and so his body is
Hmm.
a little bit. He's a
Yeah,
man child,
battle
so
tested.
different animal,
Yep,
different
He's
beast.
built different.
yep,
Yeah, so
yep.
but you wouldn't want Trey to rush back probably from a certain injury. So you just got to know players and know their
Okay.
style of play and body frames. And that's no knock on
I love
Trey.
it.
It's just
Yeah, yeah.
certain body frames. It just doesn't work out like that.
Hmm. Thank you.
I got a couple of questions. This first one's for Meg. Meg, being a Toronto native, the Toronto Tempo, the Toronto
Hamilton,
Tempo. So sorry, my fault. My fault.
Hamilton,
Hamilton. My bad.
Hamilton.
My bad.
Oh,
My fault.
oh.
Sorry. I stand corrected. My bad. My fault. Anyway, the Toronto Tempo are a new entry alongside the Portland Fire in the WNBA. I was going to ask the question, do you think either one of those franchises can have a Golden State Valkyrie type of impact on the league this season? You've already said probably not. But Sandy Brondello, she's put together a pretty decent roster in Toronto. She has high expectations as a coach, a high expectation for that franchise. Also, so speak to the Tempo's chances this season, and also, can you speak to the impact that the Tempo are having not only in the province of Ontario for women's basketball, but for the entire country? And I ask that because, listen, being in the basketball community, especially here in Montreal, I know plenty of women, plenty of young women that are aspiring to be in the WNBA someday. Naira Fields was one of them. Now Cassandra Prosper is up and coming. A lot of people here in the province of Quebec are looking forward to seeing her play. Could you please speak to the impact the Tempo are having, not only in the city of Toronto, the province of Ontario, but overall the scope of women's basketball here in Canada?
Yeah, I'll start with Sandy. And much like there's few coaches in the league that you can kind of just pull and pluck and pop them anywhere, and you can understand that they're going to have some level of success. And as Chaz mentioned with Cheryl, Sandy's one of the other ones that you can guarantee she's going to have a standard of excellence. And if you don't meet it, then you can sit beside her on the bench. So she's gonna have that roster, set up a certain way. She wanted it done a certain way. They went after specific players to be able to put this roster together the way they wanted to, nice mix of kind of veterans, mid veterans, and young players. And I think one of the other aspects is the defensive end of things. Getting Brittany Sykes, well, I think was huge for them, because of the way that she just locks in and buys in defensively, but also wants to bring the rest of the team along with her. Like there's a standard of excellence on the defensive end that she plays with. And if you're not meeting it, then she will call you out on it, as her teammate, because she knows what it takes to be in this league, get in this league, and stay in this league. And Standy will have that team ripping and running. But as well, too, I think if you look at success, what does that look like for them? Is that the same level of what we saw from Natalie Nakase in Golden State? I know I said be patient. I don't expect them to have that same strike gold right away success because I know how hard it is, but it wouldn't surprise me if they have a level of it. Does that mean playoffs, or does that mean, you know, maybe missing the playoffs by a game or two, or that final game of the regular season where it's like, you got to win, but you need help from others kind of situation? None of that would surprise me because of the record and respect that Sandy Brondello has as a head coach and a winning head coach in this league. The aspect of what this impact is on the game in Canada, and it's not just for little girls, it is also for little boys. It is for hoopers, period. There is going to be a generation, and Ashley Docking asked this of Brittany Sykes at Media Day the other day, and Slim understood the assignment with the way she responded in her thought process of the impact that this team and the players on this roster are going to have on this country. It is not, they are not taking it lightly. And it helps, I think, too, with having Hamilton native and Canada's own Kia Nurse on the squad as well, too, because she can speak to it from an experience standpoint to her teammates. There's a generation of basketball fans and players who will only know the WNBA in Canada, much like there's a generation who only know the Toronto Raptors and the Vancouver Grizzlies. That is the impact that this team is going to have on a country. And I'm of the generation that I did not have this. The jealousy I have for this group, let's put it at let's start it at 2015. So those kids are 10, 11 right now. Because that's truly the age, you might pick up a ball when you're 4, 5, 6, but to truly understand the impact, you're not necessarily getting it until you're 10, 11, 12 years old. So kids born 2015 or after, this is all they're going to know. And the jealousy that I have of them is from a place of love, because I wish I could have had this type of experience when I was 10, 11, 12, figuring things out, wanting to play basketball, what I wanted to do. Because for me, I didn't know the WNBA was possible. I didn't think it was possible. Yes, it existed. I mean, I grew up on the 4-peat comments. I grew up watching Chaz. So when I found out Chaz was going to be a broadcast partner, I had a moment of fangirl because I was yo, I used to watch her. There is this level of the joy that these kids are going to have going to games, whether it's their mom, dad, their aunt, their uncle, whoever takes them. Relish this, enjoy this, especially this first season, because you're only going to have first one time. This first season, for fans in Canada, Raptors fans, get over there. CEBL fans, get to games. Go to these games. Support this league. Support this team the way you do the Raptors. There's no reason that there should not be a tempo version of Jurassic Park should they have the success that the Valkyries did and get into the playoffs.
1,000.
The way you treat the Raptors, treat the tempo, because you are striking gold right now with a WNBA professional women's basketball team in this country. Treat this team the way you treat all of the hockey teams on the women's side as well, too, because you are getting something that there's generations before you who only wished we could have had. Kia and Bridget didn't have that option when they were growing up, and they play in the league. So think of it that way. You have two players right now. Kassan is one of them. Think of the Canadian players actively in the league right now who didn't even have this. That's the impact that this is going to have on an entire country.
1,000%. Listen, 2 games, 2 regular season games are in Montreal this summer. One of them against the New York Liberty, and the other, the Dallas Wings. The Montreal market is getting 2 great games to watch. And I'm imploring everybody in this province to come and watch those games so they can be a part of history and be a part of the growth. To your point, young boys, young girls, you need to relish in this situation because this is the start of something great. I am extremely proud. And my plan, of course, I've got some plans in the month of July. I hope I am here for those games because I will definitely attend both of those games without question. I couldn't be happier. Listen, I'm a major advocate, as you guys know, for basketball in this country. I represented our country for 10 years with the program. So I may not be officially a part of Canada basketball, but trust me, I'm a part of Canada basketball. And I'm all for the positivity going forward with whatever we can to forward the game in this country. I think it's fantastic. My second question is for the both of y'all. We know about the New York Liberty. Satu Sabally being added to that roster is just going to make them that much better. We know all about Asia Wilson, Kelsey Gray, Jack, all these players on the Las Vegas Aces. We know how important they are. Nafisa Collier, Courtney Williams, and the Minnesota Lynx, and to a certain degree, the Indiana Fever. If healthy, they're going to be in the mix. But the team that surprised both of us last summer and are on the cusp of doing great things in the league this summer are the Atlanta Dream. Speak to the importance of how the addition of Angel Reese to that roster can be a piece that possibly gets them over the top in any playoff scenario or even a championship scenario for the Dream this summer. For both of y'all.
You go.
Yeah, first I didn't like Angel Reese, the Chicago Sky getting rid of Angel Reese. I might be the only one, but I didn't like that at all.
No,
I'm happy for though
being
it.
with. What are they doing? What
you're giving
up she's probably going to go down as the best rebounder in the history of the WNBA, and you jettison her after 2 years? Sorry, it makes no sense to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, made no sense. How can she help the Atlanta Dream? I'm now. This is what really intrigues me with Atlanta Dream getting Angel Reese. I am not quite sure when you put her alongside Naz Hillman and Bree. I'm not really sure. I mean, now we're hearing all the talk now with Semesco saying, "Oh, we're going to get her to be a 3-point shooter." I'm just like, here we go. All right, here we go again. Like, there are a lot of great things that Angel does, and listen, I am all for players developing, but in her second year, is she going to be an all-time 3-point shooter? From my basketball mind, I don't see it. But where she can help the Atlanta Dream, to answer your question, is on the defensive end for Atlanta Dream. She holds Asia Wilson down when she guards her defensively. She's a pain in the ass to Stewie in New York. Nafisa Collier doesn't want to see her. So when Atlanta Dream goes against the top teams with the bigs inside, Angel Reese can be a dominant force on the defensive end. And obviously we all know she's going to rebound, and Atlanta likes to let it fly under Semesco's system. So when they have those off shooting nights, her knack for having that quick jump to the offensive rebounds and just dominating the boards will be a positive for them.
Meg?
Yeah, I agree from that standpoint. And I think also too, I liked the pickup of BG last year, but I didn't think from a standpoint of like her and Bree Jones playing off of each other worked the way they thought it was going to work. And I think what they had in mind, they can utilize with Angel and Bree Jones at times this season, because Bree does, to your point, Chaz, Bree has the ability to shoot that outside 3-point shot the way Coach Semesco wants to run his system. And she has the confidence to do it. Not that Angel doesn't have the confidence to do it. I just think she is better suited right now from like that 16-foot and in type of action. But I'm excited to see what they can do. And then the way she also, part of her game that I think is somewhat underrated is her pick and roll action. Because when we think about her and Alicia Gray in a pick and roll kind of action, Alicia Gray is so shifty with the basketball that you don't know where she's going to go when you're defending her one-on-one. So you can't hedge the way you might have been able to with a Bree Jones because she has that threat from outside, or the way that you may have been able to hedge off a Brittany Griner because she has a half slower step than Angel does. Angel rolls so hard and so direct to the rim because she wants to put herself in a position to get the offensive rebound, that now you have to worry about her hard rolling or slipping, but you now also have to worry about Alicia Gray attacking you and getting downhill, because when Alicia sees a half of a second that she's got to step on you and you're on her hip, she's gone. She is gone. Her and Chelsea Gray and Kelsey Plum are some of the best, that when they know that they have half a step and you're on their hip, they're gone. They have one mind, one set, and it's them and the rim, and that's where they're going. And a lot of the times it's how they get the pick off. And Angel, I think she has an underrated part of her game in the way she can set screens. And I think that's going to be an area where she can really develop this year as well, too.
Yeah. I mean, the pressure's on Atlanta, though. They got to get over the hump this season.
Yes.
Pressure is definitely on Atlanta Dream.
I think for me, I do power rankings. I have Minnesota at 3, and based on your glowing report, I'm going to keep them there. But I almost put Atlanta at 3. I've got Atlanta at 4 right now in my power rankings, so I think they're going to have a fantastic year. By the way, quick, random, not so hot take. Kelsey Plum is the best guard in the WNBA. Oh, A.M. Pfeffer, ask a question.
Woo!
Plum Dog.
Plum Dog's my homie. I love her, man. Go ahead, AM.
I love her too. She likes cigars, so she got a cigar brand. I love that.
The recent ratification of the CBA obviously was seen as a massive win for the players. And here we are on the cusp of the season, one day away. Now that we've all had some chance to step back, look at it, review, think about it since then, I'd love to hear from both of you the one deficiency you still think remains in this current CBA and what you're hopeful for future CBAs.
Chaz, I'll let you take this one because your perspective is great since you were a former player and had to go through CBAs.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think, are my thoughts like for the players or anything that could have been done in the CBA? Mine are more so for like retired veterans. So that's why. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like no one cares. Let's be real, no one cares. So overall, I feel like the CBA was. I thought it was really good. Obviously, I think where the WNBA is going, I didn't like that I felt like everything was rushed. I don't like doing things fast, especially contracts. And so at this point, I felt like, everybody wanted a season, but I thought the players deserved a lot more money and a lot more benefits, if you ask me. But this is a great start. I like that they can re-up. They have 6 years. They can say they want to do the CBA again. Yep. So they can renegotiate. And I think that will be a prime time. And I think everyone will be a lot more mentally prepared for that. So, but no, kudos to what NECA and the entire crew did in fighting for what's right and not backing down. So I'm super proud of the young women who really went to battle and everything that they fought for. So I really have no qualms. Nobody cares about my qualm with it. So I'll go to Meg.
I want to.
Yes, we do.
I want to expand on AM's question here. Listen, we see and what we see and hear what we see on social media and the narrative that's out there about the WNBA not making money. Now we understand, yes, maybe they are in the negative, so on and so forth. But to me, adding the Toronto Tempo, the Portland Fire, Philadelphia is coming back into the league. Houston is now going to be overtaking Connecticut to the tune, I believe, of $300 million. And the new television contract that came in for both the NBA and the WNBA. Is it fair to say that if the league was in financial strife, that there wouldn't be expansion and owners buying into the league? Can you dispel that notion or that myth for the audience out there?
I mean, well, it was what it was.
Don't shortchange Detroit and Cleveland.
Oh, it's my fault, Detroit. Yeah. My bad.
Cleveland
Detroit,
2028, baby.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the ongoing narrative. As long as I've played the sport, it's just what's dominated by the media. And at the end of the day, a lot of these, it's not just the NBA, it's the NFL, the MLB. I mean, all of them use the media to help their case. So whoever controls the media controls the narrative. If WNBA isn't making money, that was easy to sell, especially when you have the WNBA players using their voice. And that, I think that was the difference. WNBA players using their voice, expressing their concerns, and then a lot of the fans backing them. And obviously they have leverage because of social media. We never had leverage in the CBA because we didn't have social media. I know a lot of younger players felt like we didn't really fight for things, or we were just happy to be there. But it's very hard to fight when you don't have leverage. And when people can't really see your product. But the social media platforms have opened everything up for them. But the game changer, I tell people this all the time, the game changer for the CBA talks was NIL in college. You can't have future draft picks deciding to stay in college just because they make more money in college and not want to achieve their dream of playing professional basketball. So that was the main game changer in the NIL. The NIL happened in the collegiate women's basketball, and NIL really actually bridged the gap between collegiate fans and WNBA fans, because you started seeing those collegiate players, the Paige Beckers, the Angel Reese, in commercials, and then their brands crossed over into the WNBA, and that really bridged the gap. And I thought that hurt. For a long time, the WNBA was trying to find a way to bridge the gap between collegiate fans and WNBA fans. So the NIL was the game changer, really giving the players a lot of leverage in these CBA talks.
Hey,
Brilliance.
Chad said it best. Chad said it best.
Brilliance. Ladies, this has been an absolute blast, okay? We would love to catch up with y'all, throughout the season here. We love the dub. We're going to be talking about the dub a lot. We know it fires up tomorrow. Oh, by the way, Chastity and Megan, we have a WNBA fantasy draft tonight, okay? I'm in it. Dr. X is in it. Ashley Neville is in it. I just want everybody to know, okay? You're coming for my money, okay? I'm not coming for your money. You're coming for my. I'm just kidding. I can't wait to get it on with these folks and play some fantasy WNBA. I'm already in multiple leagues. I'm just a weirdo that way. But again, Megan, congratulations on the gig. Okay, play-by-play for USA Network. It's huge, man. It's huge. And so congrats on that. Chastity, you rock. You always will. And we love welcoming you guys to the XSN family. We'll be in touch, and we'll have you on again soon. God bless and safe travels, y'all.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, that was fun. All right,
awesome.
So let's dive back in. Great job by everybody, man. Just shout out to the whole crew. Y'all rock. But then our fans know that. Hey, we are Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Again, let's go back to a clock here. I got a few topics here that we really need to hit. So let's get them in and kind of condense it a little bit. We're going to a 60-second clock here. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Are we sure James Harden and Donovan Mitchell fit? Are we sure? Let's debate it. Let me give you some stats here, okay? Little setup. James Harden has had a rough postseason, okay? I'm not banging on Harden. You guys think I'm bad? I'm not. Just stats. It's just numbers. It's facts, okay? 7 turnovers in game 1. He's averaging 5.4 turns a game in the playoffs. What? He was at 3.5 turns per game for his playoff career. He's 2+ on that in these playoffs. Okay. James Harden was at 3.2 turnovers this season. Again, 5.4 in the playoffs. Guys, check this out. The Cavaliers have the most turnovers through 8 playoff games in 30 years. Is this working? Okay. I don't think they get by Toronto without the injury to Brandon Ingram. I'll die on that hill. Numbers. James Harden. That's the last time in this show I will use that, by the way. I promise. Okay. James Harden's numbers: 21, 5 and 6, 1 block, 2 steals. Solid stat line. Donovan Mitchell. Here's the problem. people. Donovan Mitchell in the regular season, fringe MVP candidate, 28, 4, and 6 points, rebounds, assists, 28, 4, and 6. He's down to 23 points a game in the playoffs, -5. Donovan Mitchell's not a shrinker. Donovan Mitchell is a expander in the playoffs. But this is his first playoff with James Harden. Okay? And the numbers have gone, boo! Ashley Neville, you first. You're on the clock. Are we sure Mitchell and Harden fit?
I knew this wasn't going to work out. And I agree with you that I think they could have easily lost to the Raptors had they been fully healthy. And Donovan Mitchell just needs to remember who the F he is. This is his team. The Cavs are his team. It's not Harden's team. Harden needs to learn how to take a backseat. And sometimes I feel like Donovan is a little too passive right now because he doesn't shrink in these moments. We've seen him at the highest stage. But I mean, I do have to say, like, James Harden has one of these weird playoff legacies. Like, on paper, his numbers aren't bad, but he tends to shrink in big moments. And considering what he usually does in the regular season, all of his accolades he's been able to have throughout the years, when he's not showing up in elimination games or game sevens, closeout opportunities, fourth quarters of huge playoff moments, that's the thing that sticks with us, right? I mean, overall, James Harden is a great player in the regular season, but playoffs, he's typically nowhere to be found. And there's so many examples of that. But Donovan, at the end of the day, just needs to remember, this is his team. We want you to take over in these games. And if James Harden just so happens to be open, pass to him. But other than that, I don't want to see James Harden trying to play hero ball anymore. This is Donovan's team.
Sing it! Brilliance! Dr. X, a fact to follow, man. Are we sure that Mitchell and Harden fit?
Oh man, I think they fit definitely better than Darius Garland. If they both get eliminated, then no one really succeeded there, and they didn't really, improve. The reason why I like James Harden on this team is because he activates the bigs. He activates Jared Allen to be great or to be better. Jared Allen had a foul problem the last game, and that's what kind of put them off his rhythm and the cadence of what they usually have. And just seeing how Detroit really really struggled against a team that had some legit bigs. And, the same way we could say thing about the Cavs, I don't think the Pistons would be here if Franz Wagner was playing any one of those last two games.
Bingo.
So with that said, I think it's too early to tell. They're still figuring it out. This was a trade at trade deadline or, around that time. And so I just feel like the best is yet to come for this team. If they can get their defense up and turn and decrease the turnovers, you're looking at a team that will possibly beat this Pistons team. They're supposed to win at home. The series doesn't start until the other team wins on the other person's floor. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 or 3 games.
All right. Okay. Dwight Walton, where are you at with this? Doc's kind of like, I need to see more. How about you? Are we sure Mitchell and Harden fit?
Well, first of all, I'm on the same page as Ashley is. And the reason why I say that, and I think the first 2 games of the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell was averaging 31 points per game. I think he was attacking the rim a hell of a lot more than he has in the past 6 games. I want to say he was 19 for 31 or 33 on attacks to the rim, and he had a true shooting percentage hovering around 65 or 66%. Over the past 6 games, his average has plummeted. And when I say plummeted, from 31 to just a little over 20 points per game. He's only gone to the basket 21 times. Now he's made 11 of those, so pretty much a little bit more than 50%. But his true shooting percentage is now down towards 47 or 48%. So to me, we could talk about the combination and the fit of Harden and Donovan Mitchell, but I think it's the mindset of Donovan Mitchell that needs to change in order for the Cavaliers to play better. It's not so much Harden, but Donovan Mitchell, get back to who you were. all of us also we speak about the Cavs and their toughness, but that's a different conversation. But I think Donovan Mitchell needs to get back to being the man and not Robin.
I mean, it's like a left tackle and a right defensive end squawking after the play. All these whistles, man. Break it up, break it up, break it up. I'm gonna throw a flag on you. AM Pepper,
leave me alone, Jason and Kai. Leave me alone.
I hear you, Dwight. Tell him. Are we? AM, are we sure Harden and Mitchell fit?
Of course they don't fit. When have you ever known James Harden to fit with the other guard on the team? That was the obvious. It's like Doc said, he's there to activate the bigs. He's there to facilitate in a different way. But like Ashley said, and you are 100% correct about this is on you, Donovan. Dwight, you've backed her up, and I'm backing you up as well. I couldn't agree more. This is about Donovan Mitchell, facilitating himself. This is about activating himself, getting it done, get to the rim, take over the games. This is your team. This has nothing to do with James Harden. We all know he's not going to fit in with the other guard. We all know he's going to show up 71% in the postseason compared that he does in the postseason compared to what he does during the regular season. We all know these things already. He's not a tiger changing his stripes at any time that we haven't seen already. We've got a decade plus of understanding this. Donovan, this is on you. You're as good as Cade Cunningham. Get it done.
So I am with AM, Ashley, and Dwight Walton. I'm with you guys. They fit in the regular season against weaker opponents. They don't fit under adverse extremes like the playoffs. Here's why. There's a your turn, my turn thing going on here. They don't really play off each other. It's like a Harden possession or a Mitchell possession. The chemistry is off, which leads to the production being off. They're thinking too much, okay? You got to put Mitchell on the ball, okay? This is what Ashley was saying. And this is a Kenny Atkinson thing as well. He's got to define the roles. I don't think they've done that enough. Put Mitchell on the ball. You say he's a 2, not a 1. To hell with that. He's a 1. He's played a ton of 1, okay? He needs to be the primary decision maker. Harden, the secondary option. Harden's been the secondary option. Everybody's selling me that he's going to break through this year because he's not the first option, okay? Well, a lot of times he kind of sort of is. Mitchell needs to be that first option. Right now they're co-headliners, and it's messy. All right. Now, I want to have fun with this segment. We are going to talk about fashion.
Oh boy.
Guys, could you please pull up Jalen Williams
Oh my
from
god.
game?
Oh boy.
Oh my god. The Brady Bunch bell bottoms. I cannot. There was all this commotion going on, and that was the only thing I was able to focus on. I couldn't focus on the game. I was just focused right on those pants, the bell bottoms, the crop top pink jacket. I don't know what's going on in that locker room, man. But the thing is you can't hate on them because they win, but then you want to hate on them because of how they dress and how they carry themselves. So they just make it so hard for me. I can't focus. It just makes me mad. It makes me mad.
Okay, Dr. Rex and then Dwight, because Ashley, these cats can dress. Okay, I'm telling you right now, these two dudes at the top of the screen are elite wardrobe mofos. Okay, they are elite when it comes to clothing. So Dr. Rex, you first. Just take it away.
Well,
what do you think?
Ashley, I agree with you. I think, for me, I get it's more fashion forward. Bell bottoms are technically in, or wide leg, or the big
Wide
bottom,
leg.
the big, yeah. But really, the bell bottoms are in. You don't always have to wear them. I think in this case,
Right.
it was the color scheme that I don't like here. For his size, I think it fits. If it's, let's imagine this outfit all black and maybe like a charcoal gray t-shirt under it. It probably looks better. The crop jacket is in as well. But I just think the combination of what he chose is where you miss me. And I get, bright colors, it's springtime, whatever. Maybe if he wore this Easter weekend, it would have been a little bit better.
Good call. Good call.
But other than that, I'm just like, this is not even in the color scheme. And then it just looks a little soft to me. I think all in all, you got to kind of wear what fits your body type as well. But I'll give them credit. These guys are a little fashion forward. They're usually ahead of the curve. So maybe this is one of those things, but it's not the worst I've seen, Rick. So I'll give him a pass. And if I were to give a grade, I probably, because of I just felt like he could have did a little bit better. Maybe different color scheme. I like the fit though in general. Maybe like a C plus or B minus.
Okay. Let's. I'll go back to
C
Ashley and
plus.
get a grade from her too. What do you got, Doc?
C plus.
Okay, C plus. All right, Dwight, you next, man. Just assess it. And by the way, Dwight Walton, there are a few dudes on earth that wear a suit better than Dwight Walton. So Dwight, go ahead and then end it with a grade for this fit.
Okay, full disclosure, I do own some wide-legged jeans, so I appreciate the jeans. However, to my cousin's point, I just don't wear the wide-legged pants. I do have the tape fit down to the ankle for most of my clothing, for most of my casual clothing, but I do have some jeans like what Jalen Williams is wearing in this picture. However, there is no way in hell you will catch me wearing that crop top jean top that he's wearing in no matter what the color. Although, listen, people that know me, my favorite color is the lavender family. Give me lavender, lilac, purple, tulip wood, whatever color is in that lavender family.
Magenta, maybe a nice magenta.
So I will wear it. I'll be the first to admit it, but I am not wearing the outfit that Jalen Williams is wearing. However, if you do follow the NBA and you follow the Oklahoma City Thunder, this is who they are. And to a certain degree, when they acquired Jared McCain at the trade deadline, he fits right in to with whatever culture is happening in that Thunder locker room, and it works, and it's working immediately. And let's keep it real here. Teams that are successful at any level, and specifically at the professional level, where most of the time after practice or after games, after road trips, most of these teams don't hang out. This Oklahoma City Thunder team, they hang out. And I think the wardrobe, the way they interact with the sideline reporter, I don't know his name right now, but
Nick
all
Gallo.
the interviews, all the interviews they do, this wardrobe that we're seeing here, it just speaks to the inner workings of why the Thunder are a champion. I'm going to give this fit an F because I would never wear it. However, I understand why this works for him, for them, the Thunder in general, and why they win. But as for me, I'll wear the pants, not the top, but the overall fit, I'm giving an F. No question about it.
So Ashley, give me a grade, and then AM, go ahead and break it down and give me a grade. Ashley, give me a grade on this real quick.
So I'll give it a D because I have seen worse. So I wouldn't give it an F. But if we go back and even look at some of like Shea's outfits when he was like dressed like a peanut butter jar, and then we've had Russell Westbrook with like a bow tie and the big glasses, and just we've seen worse. So I can't go completely to an F. But it's definitely a D. I'm not a fan. I can't even look at it anymore.
Oh, wow. She's got to turn away. Wow. And you can't unsee it either. So AM Pfeffer, break it down and give me a grade.
I'm going to surprise you guys with where I'm going.
Oh,
with
no.
This. I know I'm definitely going to surprise Dwight. Let me tell you something. I absolutely applaud the individualism that is these players in their late teens, 20s, and even 30s who come out and do literally live their life like every day is the Met Gala. I love it. This is a guilty pleasure of mine. I hated when David Stern put in the dress code and the homogenized crap. That is not what this is about. Dude, It is amazing when these guys in the prime of their life can go out and wear whatever the hell they want and stir up both controversy and conversation. That fit right there in my book is an A++. Good on you, Jay Williams. Dude, I'm telling you, this is my guilty pleasure. I love this. I love like Kyle Kuzma and puffy jackets or whatever the hell, anything as ludicrous as when these guys show up for Halloween and ridiculous outfits. I love every bit of this.
That's fair.
Man looks great. A+. I love it.
You know what's crazy, Rick, though? I wonder what his teammates would grade it, because even though they're all friends, I'm sure, if we walk in the room, we're not feeling someone's fit, we'll tell them. And the same way you see Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart get at each other, I'm sure there is some banter that goes on. I wonder what his teammates would grade him on his outfit.
Because they're trying to outdo each other. Yeah, they're just trying to outdo each other.
But at the same time, you usually give people props because they're very supportive of each other. I think they would be more. I think they would round out the conversation, and it would kind of place it where, okay, this is what they would rate it, and this is how we rate it. But ultimately, if you wear it confidently, you actually rise up a little bit in your grade. So I'm also with you, AM.
It's like what Jimmy Butler says to the little Cheez-It guy in the Cheez-It ad, right?
Yeah.
It's not wearing the fit. You got to own the fit, or whatever he says, right? You can't just wear it. You got to feel it inside. Exactly. Okay, so guys, it is my turn, and I'm going to give you my grade right up front. My grade's an F. Okay, I give this an F grade. All right, this gets an absolute F. This is why by the way, this is brutal even for the Met Gala, okay? Like Snoop Dogg. I'm serious. Snoop Dogg is not rocking that look, okay? Look, I want to make this clear. I'm a hippie, okay? I believe in self-expression. I believe in individuality, whatever that word is. I believe in rebellion, okay? I believe in having a look, all right? This is just bad decision making, okay? All the way around. Okay, so what I want to do right now, I want to go back in time. And this is what I would tell Jalen Williams if I had the opportunity, okay, to have a heart-to-heart, a come to Jesus with Jalen Williams about this outfit. I would talk to him like Kevin Garnett spoke to the late, great Craig Sager back in the day.
Thanks a lot, and good luck the rest of the season.
Hey, look here. I know we're going off the air for a little bit, but I need 10 to 15 seconds to say to you, okay, look, I've never in my life tried to really go at you in your suits and stuff. Tonight, I am stressing to you. You take this outfit home and you burn it. I know you don't double back with outfits. I've never seen you in an outfit twice, but you take this right here. I don't care if it's Versace, name brand, Saeed, I don't care. You take this and you burn it.
There's not any part I can keep?
No, nothing. So when you get done with this, you butt ass naked. This should be. Okay? It's good to see you, like always. In the shoes too. Just burn them, okay? They just burn it. Don't waste no place. Just burn the red socks, which the people can't see.
Oh man.
Take all this, lime thong, all that. Burn it, okay?
Fire sale?
Burn it.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I didn't mind that look though. That was nice.
Oh, yeah. Craig Sager's look dominates this look, but Gardner, you guys remember that's an iconic interview moment right there. Yes, we all miss Craig Sager down here on Earth, man. God bless him up in heaven. But Kevin Garnett said, "Take all this and burn it. You need to be butt ass naked when you're done with that." Oh, maybe it was just me. All right, I had to.
No. The thing is, Kevin Garnett's suit was nice too, though. What Kevin was wearing was nice.
Yeah, it was. All right. Anyway, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Maybe we'll get more into fashion here. That went pretty well, actually. All right. We now have to get back to talking basketball, okay? In a fun way. Y'all love us. We're Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, okay? It is time for an XSN checkup with the insufferable Dr. X, okay? And, Doc, I'm going to give you a setup here and some of the details and all that kind of stuff. The question is, should Luka be playing right now? Okay. And we're not going around the horn here. We're not. You already know what I'm going to say. We already know what Dwight's going to say. Okay. So we just don't. Okay. Like, and Dwight, I love you, but like, no, let's like economize our time here. So here's the setup. Luka Doncic update after his press conference yesterday. Said he has started running, has yet to be cleared for contact. Said for the first time in this whole process, oh, no. The doctor said it was 8 weeks. He said it was 8 weeks. Okay, we're at the 5-week point right now. It was reported as a 4 to 6. Dave McMenamin said that a grade 2 hammy typically has a 1-month recovery. Now, Dave McMenamin is not the great Dr. X. Okay, so he might have been wrong there. But anyway, McMenamin asked him at the presser, do you have any intention to play when the series shifts to LA? Luka said, quote, I'm just doing everything I can. So that's a no. He said, every day I'm doing things I'm supposed to do. The doctor said 8 weeks at the beginning of the first MRI. So I'm just going day by day and I feel better every day. Blah, 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 woof, woof, woof. Okay. So the Lakers, by the way, did not give a timetable. They're off the hook here. Brian Windhorst said, Doc, and everybody. He said on the Rich Eisen show, he said on Luka going overseas, he said, I've heard of going to Germany. I've never heard of going to Spain. Bingo. Singer from Windy. Okay, he went on. He said, when they sent him overseas, that was like, you're not going to be doing anything for a few weeks anyways. Go ahead, go to Europe because you came back 48 hours after your child was born. Okay, that's Windy. Now, the cherry on top, Doc, before you go here, comes from Ric Flair. Woo! Ric Flair, yes, one of the most famous wrestlers of all time, called out Luka and wants him to be traded off the Lakers. Is it folly? Is it sarcasm? I don't know. But Ric Flair said nobody wants a lame duck on their team. Somewhere, Patrick Dumont, somewhere the goofy Patrick Dumont is cheering. Yeah, tell him, Ric Flair, tell him. Patrick, the problem is Ric Flair is a retired wrestler. His opinions on the NBA, how much are they worth? Okay, all right, Dr. X, should Luka Doncic be playing right now?
It's a tricky question because honestly speaking, if you go back to when he first got the injury and was a grade 1, that was like February 5th. He came back in 9 to 10 days, right? A grade 2 hamstring, if you look at the NBA data, it says it's pretty much in the window of 6 to 8 weeks. So maybe Luka, because they saw the MRI, they just said 8 weeks. They put it out to the end. But if you have aggressive rehab, it could be anywhere from like 4 to 6 weeks. And so I think, the middle of the road, the fact that he's taking shots right now puts him at the 5-week mark at the end of this week or end of next week, because I think he was injured or re-aggravated it. And the re-injury risk is 20 to 30%. So I think on April 5th, or maybe it was April 3rd was the date that he tore it, maybe April 2nd around that time. Whatever it is, it's about 4 weeks right now. And he's getting shots up. I don't think he's doing 1-on-1, 5-on-5, stuff like that. So
correct.
Knowing Luka, if you give him the rest of this week, that will be around game 3 or 4, likely game 4. And then so now you're looking at if he hits the 5-week mark, which is what I think one report said he might come back for game 5. So question is series going to be over by then? It could be a sweep.
Yes.
So my whole point of this is that this injury kind of worked to their favor. I feel like this is the Lakers' kind of farewell tour for LeBron James. Farewell tour.
Okay.
Farewell tour for LeBron James, and give him his chance to go out and win a bang with the LA Laker organization. Or maybe not, but I just feel like they don't want to risk it regardless, because it's not like they're looking at a path to win this. I think they're being realistic in terms of their chances. And so based off of that, they were just like, Luka's probably not going to play because we're pretty much risking him becoming like Aaron Gordon. And that would be really sad to see someone like Luka become like Aaron Gordon in terms of having a nagging hamstring injury that just, rears its ugly head at any moment when you really need him. So I think they were just saying, hey, we don't have a chance to win the championship. OKC standing in our way in the second round. Why chance it? So I think they just been kind of, I think this decision was already made that he wouldn't play. And hey, if the Lakers do surprise us and they win tonight and they somehow win one of their home games, we might see Luka. But I honestly think, Dwight, you were right in terms of him not coming back early. I was probably right about AR and Ant-Man,
Joel Embiid.
but Luka,
Embiid.
I was also right about Embiid as well.
Yes.
But I think the hamstrings are very tricky. And I just think there's other factors at play. But a grade 2 is a grade 2. I also agree with Wendy, and this is what I did say, that it was about going to Europe was very suspicious because I heard of Germany more so for the knee injuries, but I think it was for him to go see his child or deal with any domestic issues he had over in Europe. I don't think it was really for that. As you said, Dwight, a hamstring in Slovenia is a hamstring, grade 2 hamstring in America, wherever it is, right? So it is what it is. Should he be playing now? I don't think it's worth it because it's a situational thing. If they had a chance of them beating Oklahoma, I would say yes. I don't think they have a chance with or without him. So the answer is no. He should not be playing.
Let's face facts. They sent Luka to Spain for an in-season vacation and treatment and, taking care of family stuff. But I mean, that's one of the all-time hookups. Right around playoff time, you just get to dip out for a month and go to Spain. When's that ever happened before in the history of the NBA? I don't think it has. All right, so
I think it was a week though. It was a week in his defense. It was during the playing tournament, and he came back. He was on the bench for all those games.
He was back. He was on the bench for the beginning of the
for all
Rocket
those
series.
games.
Yes,
he was.
Yes.
All right. I stand corrected. I went a little bit too far there. I went a little too far. All right, so let's go too far on this one, man, and bring everybody in. All right, super quick setup, okay? LeBron James, after game one, was asked where the Lakers' issues on offense are coming from, okay? This is what LeBron said. He shot a look. He said, the offensive issues coming from, we have a guy that averaged 37 a game. That's the issues right there, okay? So did LeBron call out Luka? Or was he just stating facts? Let's break it down. Ashley Neville, go ahead. What's your answer?
He's just stating facts. He's not
100%.
hating or calling out Luka. He's injured. Why would LeBron want to rush him back when, like you guys alluded to earlier, the Lakers don't have a shot at making or even winning the championship? So what's the point of rushing a guy back from an injury? When we know that he's had injuries in the past, he's had issues with his weight. Why would we rush him back just to get hurt and then potentially be out the next season? The whole point of them bringing Luka to the Lakers was to have a new face of the franchise. Why are you going to risk that when LeBron might only have 1 or 2 seasons left under his belt when you need that guy present for the future? So I don't think LeBron was calling him out. I mean, he's stating the obvious. We're not playing as well as we can because our best scorer, our number one option, is out with an injury. So he was just stating facts. It wasn't hate. He wasn't calling him out. I mean, that's LeBron. He's going to be honest with you, and it had nothing to do with wanting him to get Luka back sooner. It's just stating facts.
A.M. Pfeffer, did LeBron call out Luka?
No, I didn't feel like he called him out at all. In fact, what I was garnering from him was severe disappointment. I mean, I don't think LeBron thinks about the idea that the Lakers are punting, they have no chance to beat Oklahoma City. I mean, in LeBron's mind, he's like, if we had Luka, we'd have a chance to beat Oklahoma City. That's how he's looking at this, and he's really disappointed that Luka's not there. That's all this comes down to. I mean, LeBron James over the last 20, 25 games of the season did a wonderful job deferring to Luka and Reeves and becoming a totally different player. And the Lakers were, benefited for it, and they're playing better defensively, and they put themselves in an incredible position to enter into the postseason, with the chance to compete. Well, both those guys went down. Obviously, Reeves is and he's not 100%, and Luka's not back at all, and LeBron's just disappointed. They got crushed in Oklahoma City, and more than likely are going to get crushed 3 more games in a row. If they get it within 10, that'll be a moral victory. Cool that they won the first series. Not cool that they're not even competitive the second series, and you need Luka to be competitive. LeBron knows that.
All right, Dwight Walton, you next. Did LeBron call out Luka?
He was stating the obvious. He was stating the fact that they're missing 34 points per game. And even with that, would they have been favored to win 2 games against the vaunted Thunder? I don't even think so. He was asked the question, and as everybody knows, LeBron is going to answer as honest and to the best of his ability, sometimes to his detriment. The reality is the Lakers aren't good enough. And to double back on the should Luka be playing, it's just the Lakers are a victim of circumstance. Had the Lakers played the Thunder in the Western Conference Final, maybe we see Luka Doncic. But the reality is they finished 4th. They beat the Rockets. The Thunder are first. They have to play the Thunder without Luka Doncic and without a healthy Austin Reeves to where now all of a sudden the talk has shifted from should they give Austin Reeves a 4-year, $204 million contract to where should they let Austin Reeves walk, keep LeBron James, and build the roster with younger, more athletic talent across the NBA around Doncic and LeBron James. This whole situation, this whole conversation has taken a different conversation. LeBron understands that Luka is the franchise player. He's just frustrated. He wishes he had their Batman, quite frankly. So LeBron isn't calling out Luka. It's once again, just we're looking for things to talk about LeBron with. Absolutely not. He's stating the facts. You're missing 34 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists per game. MVP candidate. He needs Luka Doncic.
And he doesn't have him. And that's why LeBron just called him out. And I'm not saying that it was a spicy call out or even a controversial call out. I don't think this is splintering any locker rooms, but he literally alluded to the guy that's not playing and said, that's why we're getting our ass kicked. So that is kind of the definition of calling a guy out. He didn't say.
Can't that be a nod? Can't that be a nod to the guy instead of calling him out? Can't that be a tip of the hat?
Thank you. Yes.
You say tomato, I say tomato. But my point is, like, again, I'm not trying to, to create a fire or anything like that. I'm just saying, most of the time, a player will be like, yeah, tonight, I thought we got good looks. We just didn't make them. Or, they were switching a lot. And, that really kind of disturbed us in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, I thought we got some good looks. We just didn't make them. We got to make those shots. That's typically the answer you get to that question. Not Rick, referring to the guy that's 34 to 37 points a game. Just saying.
Rick, a little more coming to America. They got the golden arches. We've got the golden M. They've got McDonald's. We've got McDowell's.
I love it. Exactly.
Bringing it back for you.
Well played, man. Well played. So, Doc, do you sense any call out? Here, or is that LeBron just playing it straight?
Yeah, I just think he was stating the facts, and as Am said, just tipping his hat to Luka's greatness. And minus that greatness, our offense is not going to be as good. Plain and simple.
Alrighty then. Let's move on to some game 2 predictions here. Dr. X, I want to keep you rolling, man. And by the way, this is a Herculean effort by Dr. X. Under the weather today.
No, not really.
Oh, you're not?
Nah, I am, but it's not. I don't have excuses built in. I'm good.
Oh, you mean like the one that LeBron? You mean like the one that LeBron just created by bringing up Luka? Oh, so you mean like that? Okay. Anyway, forget all that. Let's move on. You guys know I got jokes. Okay, you guys know I'm always going to have some jokes. All right, let's go. Cleveland at Detroit. So here's the lay of the land. We're going to do a prediction on Cleveland, Detroit, LA, OKC. That'll be awful quick, right? And then we'll do our rants, and we're going to say goodbye to our lovely audience. Cleveland at Detroit. Okay, Dr. X, you go first. We're on a clock for these now. Back to 60 seconds. Who wins and why?
I just think I've come to the belief that Cleveland is incapable of winning on the road. And then they have to struggle to win at home, and they'll win at home. So I think Pistons win tonight, and then the Cavs will win, hopefully at least one game at their home. Unless they surprise us, this series is over if Cleveland can't win on the road, and they were unable to do that against Toronto Raptors down Emmanuel Quickly and also Brandon Ingram. So I got the Pistons winning this game, and I still had the Cavs winning the series, but all they got to do is win one game at home. If it's tonight, that'd be great.
Okay, I just got to follow up.
Rick don't want to hear that because
No. That's fine. But I just gotta. I heard some things come out of Dr. X's brain that are a little different from what we've been hearing. Is your confidence in the Cavaliers starting to sag a little bit?
Just a little bit, because I feel like it's something that can be fixed though. And as NBA players and NBA coach, I think they have I think they have a more talented roster than the Pistons.
I'll give you that.
Playing hard is great, but I just feel like I don't like how Dean Wade fits. I don't care what the numbers say, just the eye test. Max Strus would be the starter, because I just feel like if you start well, you play well. And I was also, especially on the road, you have to have some good starts. When you're coming in, what you're getting from him isn't just catching up, just to then take him out and then you lose the lead again. I just feel like Max Strus plays good defense. He's hard-nosed. I would have Jalen Tyson come in for Max Strus. I wouldn't play Dean Wade at all, unless I had to because of foul trouble.
Oh,
Maybe because of foul trouble, but I just think sometimes you have to start your best players, and they already lost Merrill. So I think with all of that, I'm not sure if Merrill's come back today or whatever, but
hamstring. He's not.
Yeah, exactly. But they lost their shooter. And I think Strus is just a better hard-nosed defender. He does more than the shoot. And I think he defends, and he does other things to make the offense pop. So anyway, yes, I think they'll figure it out, but I don't think it'll be tonight.
All right. I got to give you some Dean Wade math. Nice story. Cute and cuddly kid. Making good in the NBA. Good for him. Why do they play him? A.M. Pfeffer. I'll tell you why they play Dean Wade. He's an analytics darling. Okay, please give me the printout. Please give me the PDF and let me wad it up and throw it in the garbage. Hold on a second. I got my stats on this page right here. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Dean Wade. Okay, get this. Dean Wade in the playoffs is averaging 6 points a game in 25 minutes. Do you guys have any idea how bad that is? That's unbelievably terrible in terms of a point per minute ratio. 25 minutes a game, homie's given us 6 PPG. What? He's shooting 31% on threes. I literally can't believe he's shooting 31% on threes. I've never seen him make a shot, ever. Okay, sorry. I'm off my soapbox with that.
What are his defensive numbers, Rick?
I'm sure they're fantastic, Dwight. I'm sure they're fantastic, and I'm doing this to him. I'm throwing them away. Make a dang basket.
Yeah, all the people that he guards end up having career nights on him, or they're getting their average more.
That is not true.
Who do you shut down?
That is
Scotty Barnes. He was in there doing Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes had the best.
That is
Scotty
not
Barnes
true.
had one of his best series.
Barnes went off on Dean Wade.
Dean Wade.
Give me a break. Bro, the Winter Soldier should be starting it. It's not. And the Winter Soldier's making $22 million a year. Play the guy, for the love of basketball. All right, Dwight Wall, go ahead, man. Who you got winning game 2 tonight?
You know what? To my cousin's point, the Cavaliers are horrible on the road. However, they gave up they turned the ball over 19 times to the tune of 31 points in game 1. The Pistons doubled them at the free throw line, which means they were more physical, more dominant. That being said, it was 93-93 just inside 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. James Harden woke up in the fourth quarter to the tune of 13 of his 22 points. And Donovan Mitchell wasn't Donovan Mitchell. If I'm the Cavaliers, I feel good going into game 2. Take care of all of that. Make sure you clean up some things. Stuff's going to happen on the road. Weather the storm from the Detroit crowd. If they're in the game in the final 2 minutes, the Cavs will win game 2, accomplish what they needed to accomplish, go back to Cleveland with home court, and take a stranglehold on this Eastern Conference semifinal series.
Man, are you optimistic? Holy cow. Let's go to LA. Ashley and then AM, give us a prediction tonight, game 2, Cavs and Pistons.
So I did just look up the defensive rating when Dean Wade was guarding the Toronto Raptors, and it does say that the Raptors struggled significantly when he was the main defender. So, he held Brandon Ingram to 14.8 points per game on just 33% shooting. So I would say Dean Wade makes a tremendous impact on the defensive end, but they're going to need that effort from everyone, not just him. Also, we need to see more from Jarrett Allen. You have all these bigs, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. We need to see them step up. I mean, we were just talking about last round, Jalen Durant, they needed more production from him with the Pistons, and look what happened. He was averaging a double. He got a double-double in the last game. I think he got 15 and 15. We need to see that same level of production from Evan and Jarrett, especially when you want to go inside. So I want to see more from Jarrett Allen. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to step up in game 2. I think they're going to win it on the road. We're going to see a great game from Donovan, but we also need to see a great game from Jarrett Allen as well.
Great breakdown. See what I mean? She did a great job. I never said that the analytics didn't support Dean Wade. I never said that. I just said I'm ripping up those analytics and I'm playing Max Strus and Jalen Tyson. But it's great stat work, Ashley. I appreciate it. I'm zagging while you zig on that one. AM Pfeffer, come on in here, man. Give me a prediction.
Look, this being the fashion episode, I'm going to bring up another fashion icon, David Bowie, who put the song Changes on his Hunky Dory album, I believe in 1971. And he did it on purpose because everything wasn't hunky dory. And that's exactly what's going on in Cleveland. They have reached the point where they recognize changes need to be made. Look for some major changes to the start, middle, and end of this game tonight. They're taking game 2. Cleveland gets back on track. Let's go!
Okie dokie. I'll make this super, super quick, guys. Pistons win by 10-plus points tonight.
No kidding, Rick.
Detroit will win by a wider margin tonight than they did in game 2. Here's why. Cade and Durant were 10 of 30 in game 1.
Yeah,
10 of 30.
That is true.
Okay? Their team shot 44%. That ain't happening again. They're going to shoot a higher percentage. Cade and Durant are going to flex tonight. And look, you mentioned Dwight. Harden was very passive the first 3 quarters, really good in the fourth quarter, and a good overall stat line. I think Harden craters even a little bit more tonight. I do anticipate a large one from Don, but I think the Pistons ultimately are going to pull away. And Jarrett Allen, where are you? I mean, we're in a cave and there's bears and bats. Where is he? All I'm getting is an echo here, okay? I want to go first on Lakers and OKC. I'm going to go first, okay? Put me on the clock. Prediction, Lakers and OKC.
I know where this is going.
Next! All right, Dr. X, give me a prediction on Lakers and Thunder.
I think OKC is going to win a big margin, but the difference is Shea is going to score over 20 points. There's going to be some more others that step up. And I got OKC winning, and they just got to win 2 more. It'll be a sweep.
Are you predicting a sweep right now, Doc, quickly?
Yeah, same way I'm for my
Already
Knicks. Knicks.
So am I.
I did. That was the first thing I did. Was a sweep.
So did I, and I backed you up.
Wow. Wow. So this is going to be rather quick. Do you have anything else salient to add to this conversation?
No, you know what? Before the series, I gave LeBron and JJ Redick respect and said they'll win a game, maybe 2. The Lakers, no. I love you, LeBron. Love the Lakers, but the Thunder are going to cover in every game this series. Ooh. This might be the most lopsided playoff series that I can recall over the last 20 to 25 years. This series, the Lakers literally have no chance. Even if they had a healthy Doncic and healthy Reeves, I would give them a game. But look at what they're doing, the Thunder, without Jalen Williams. Their second unit, in some instances, play better defensively than the starters. That's why they can maintain leads, or in most cases, increase leads. The Thunder, all day, every day, they will cover whatever tonight's spread is.
Okay, Ashley, and then AM. Is it a blowout tonight, and is it a sweep? Go ahead.
So I initially had the Lakers at least just winning 1 game. I wanted to give them that credit because LeBron James in the playoffs, like I just wanted to give him more credit just based on his history, based on his legacy. But at this point, without Luka, I do think it's going to be a sweep because, I mean, in game 1, I will say the Lakers did hold their own within the first 3 quarters. They kept it somewhat close. But with OKC, they're going to score on almost every possession. And if you're not getting stops and you're turning the ball over, like, you're not going to be able to compete with that. So unless you're playing damn near perfect basketball, there is no way in hell you're going to beat this OKC team. And again, I wanted to give them 1 game. That was my prediction in 5. Either with or without Luka. Even with Luka, I still thought, 5 games. But yeah, there's just no way the Lakers have a big enough roster to be able to compete, especially like you said, OKC has a full bench of players who could play just as good as their starting lineup. So there's no way.
AM?
About the only thing interesting for this game is J-Dub's follow-up outfit. That's the only reason to tune in tonight.
Good
Doc
call.
predicted the sweep the other day. I had rubber stamped it, was thinking the same thing. I'm not coming off it now. Okay,
oh, wow. It's hard to see
terrible.
the Lakers winning a game right now. You guys, OKC is 5-0 in these playoffs, man. They haven't lost yet. And they've had J-Dub, for 2 games? It's this team is a freaking juggernaut, man. All right, it is rant time, okay? I have a shout down and I have a shout out, okay? My shout down, no rhyme intended, is Christian Brown of the Denver Nuggets. He took full responsibility for the Nuggets' first-round loss to the Timberwolves. Really? You're like the 5th guy. You're taking full responsibility. Jokic largely sucked in that series, and you're taking full responsibility. Settle down, young man. Settle down. He said, and I quote, "I just think I'm the leader of this team." What? I didn't play well. I didn't play well enough as an individual, and I didn't have this team ready enough to play in a tough series. I kind of don't know where to begin here. Like, bro, this is confusing. This is a swing and a miss. If you want to extrapolate this into an indictment of Jokic and Murray's lack of leadership, I guess you could, but it's just one man's opinion. Christian, How is he the leader of this team over Aaron Gordon? This makes no sense to me. I had to call him out. I don't really know what else to do with this. Just do better, okay? And then the shout up, okay? Tobias Harris. Guys, you know that I have take integrity, okay? If I'm right, and when Detroit beats Cleveland in this series, I will take a bow. There will be a bow happening right here in Clearwater, Florida, okay? And when I'm wrong, I admit to that too. Tobias Harris, I was wrong and I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. Over his last 3 games, he's clipping at 23 PPG, 8 boards, almost 2 steals, killing it. He was at 13 PPG in the regular season. Thus, my doubt, okay? I compared him to Harrison Barnes, who is now coming off the San Antonio bench, saying that Tobias Harris is about to sort of be on that slippery slope. Long-time starter, well, it's time you're a bench guy. I was wrong, okay? And I'm a man of my word. When my words are proven wrong, I like it. I guess I'm a psycho that way, okay? I am. I love it when guys shove my words down my throat and prove me wrong. I've told you guys this all year long. I'm waiting for James Harden to give me some different stimulus. He never does. The moment he does, I'm going to applaud him. Way to go, James. You finally had a good game 7. I'm out here, ready for it. He just never gives it to us, okay? But Tobias Harris has showed us something different. He has taken his game to another level. That's the good stuff. I shout out Tobias Harris. Dr. X, hit us with your rant. Is it Knicks-centric?
Of course. Most of the time it is. Ashley, as you know, it'll at least be like 95% it'll be Knicks-centric, depending on, what's going on. But this is what I have to say about my Knicks. Guys, it's all about a mindset, okay? You got to pretend that CJ McCollum just hit a game winner in the Garden, that you lost game 2. Sometimes when we were up by 10, our coach would say, hey, pretend you're down by 10. Pretend you're down by 20. That's how you have to play. So I feel like if the Knicks know they're the better team, prove it. Sweep them. If you know you have the deeper roster, okay, no OG, no problem. You got Mitchell Robinson back. Hopefully, the bench guys want more minutes. Guys that haven't played at all, unless it's garbage minutes. You guys have to step up now and really, make up for the loss of OG, which I think we can do. We have a deep enough roster. We have Muhammad Diawara. We have, hopefully Deuce McBride has one of the games in Philly. He's hot. We have Madison Square Garden, technically Southwest instead of East. We have the fans that are going to be in there. They're going to be booing and beating on his home floor. All of that said, I just really feel like we really need everybody to lock in. We need Mikal Bridges to continue to play great. He's from the Philadelphia area. You have no excuses. Like, you've been doing great. It's only a 2-hour drive. And Towns, please, no stupid fouls. Know your value and get it done. Get it done. Average triple-double. Challenge yourself to play at least 35 minutes and prove that you're the better big in this series. And I think with all that said, I think the next time we talk, the Knicks would have swept the Philadelphia 76ers. And that's what I think should happen. I think they're capable of doing it. Will they do it? We never know, because honestly, all season it was Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I think they turned that corner this year.
Yes.
I mean, during the middle of that, Atlanta Hawk, game, was it game 3 or was it game 4? Game 4.
4. Yeah, game 4.
Because, and they haven't lost since. But I feel like yesterday they almost reverted. And then now with this built-in excuse of OG Anunoby potentially hurt, sometimes people play, well, at least we have, we won. No, that's not the mindset. You take one game at a time, feel like your back is against the wall, play like you're down in the series, and sweep them. That's how you sweep teams, is you step in their neck. And that's what I need the Knicks to do. That's the next level right now.
Understood. We will find out soon if Joel Embiid wants that smoke in game 3 as we go out to LA. Ashley and then AM, and Dwight will bring us home with his rant last. Ashley, what you got?
This is what we're on a rant right now. That's what we're doing, because I think we didn't hear what you were saying before.
Rant time.
I guess I can do a rant that I said the other day in one of my videos. I'm just getting so sick of all these streaming platforms, and also just how the scheduling of the NBA has been. where they've been playing 2 games basically overlapping at the same time. It's been extremely frustrating. The NBA has never used to do that. When there was a doubleheader, you'd play them back to back. Unless there's 3 games, totally get that. To fit 3 games in a night, they used to do TNT, and then they have 1 game on NBA TV or ESPN, NBA TV, vice versa. I know that he's trying to get more views and more, eyeballs, considering some of these games start pretty late for the East Coast, but then also very early for the West Coast. So all the time difference does make a difference. But to make us have to choose between games, I don't like this. And then also NBC and Peacock just drive me insane. You should just give us the option to either watch it on Peacock or watch it on NBC. I'm so sick of even just the whole season. NBC will only broadcast one of the games. And then it's like, what if that's not the game you wanted to watch? I just don't like what they're doing here. I think that's a very simple fix. I know they probably have to talk to Peacock about doing that because they bought those certain rights. But I think they need to just broadcast them both on NBC and Peacock at the same time and do something about this overlapping schedule. But it's just been driving me insane.
All right, Ashley. Brilliance once again, and you hit a nerve with your boy Cam. This is so this is a Peacock thing. This is not a Prime thing. This is not an ESPN thing, right? Last night, what did ESPN do? 1 game after the other. Tonight on Prime, 1 game after the other. Doc, give Ashley and our audience, all of us, your theory on why Peacock, because me and Doc talked about this the other day. Why is Peacock overlapping games? You gave me your theory on that. Hit us with it.
I did?
Yeah, you said, boy, you're like me. But dude, if I say something 5 minutes ago, I'm like, why I said that? No, you said that they're trying to get us to watch both games simultaneously by using
yes.
Their little side-by-side function.
Kind of, that was my reasoning. I think it was a horrible reason, though. I just feel like, and you were saying your control didn't work.
Okay, see this right here? That would be, you would think right there is where I would push down, right? Guess what? I was like laying on it, like a Karen with her car horn, right? Like, nothing happened. I couldn't go to the split screen. Their functionality, or maybe my remote just sucks. I don't know, but go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's pretty much what I think is the issue. Is they probably are trying to show that their multi-view thing is a cool feature. They'll prompt you to shift over to the left or to the right. Click on it, and you're watching it, and then depending on what you have highlighted, that's where the audio will come in. I personally don't like it. I like the way it should be, and I think they're just trying to promote cool features that they have. So I give that a thumbs down.
Yeah, we're all flushing it. Ashley, I appreciate you bringing that up. I actually, just to take it a small step farther, I'm a play-by-play guy, did it for a million years, right? And so I'm an aficionado of it. And outside of NBC's top crew, it is not even close to good enough, and I'm going to leave it at that. And you guys know that I spoke very glowingly about Robbie Hummel. I'm getting confused right now. Maybe he's on the second team. But Grant Hill and Hummel and Mike Tirico and Reggie Miller, you're all kicking ass, and I'll just leave it at that. A.M. Pfeffer, go ahead.
No rant today, guys, but a major important shout out before we get out. 10 years ago to the day I put this ring on my finger. It was the best decision I ever made. Shannon, I love you. I cannot wait to celebrate with you tonight. Thank you for letting me get a little goofy.
Oh, yay.
All right,
Yay.
Congratulations, AM. Number 10.
Thanks,
That's
guys.
awesome, dude.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Holy matrimony. Holy cow, he's got a lot of holy matrimony. All right, Dwight Walton, what's up?
That should have ended the show, but we didn't know. But that's fine. Listen, I don't have a rant, but I have a message for a coach in the NBA that's currently in the playoffs. I'll save his name for the end. The Dallas Mavericks made a tremendous hire the other day by naming Masai Ujiri the president of basketball operations and their alternate governor, of course, Pat Dumont being the governor. This was a job that was coveted by current head coach of the Mavericks, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was told, I would say several months ago, that he was not going to get the president's job with the Mavericks. So I believe his enthusiasm or his motivation to coach a team that was clearly looking to get themselves into the lottery once their season began to go south, specifically with the injuries, and were basically turning the franchise over to Cooper Flagg, the resident rookie of the year, although I think Knicks should have won the award. All that to say, Masai Ujiri is clearly in charge. He was asked if Jason Kidd was going to be their head coach moving forward. Masai's response, we are looking at the organization as a whole from top to bottom. That was his response. Not necessarily a ringing endorsement for Jason Kidd. So, as I said at the beginning of my rant, my message is to New York Knicks head coach Mike Brown. You better get out of the Eastern Conference. Otherwise, Jason Kidd will be the head coach of the New York Knicks next season. Now, I do understand that Orlando's has an opening. I know that Chicago has an opening, but the Knicks wanted Jason Kidd last summer when he was under contract with the Mavericks. And if Jason Kidd is available and if things go south with the Knicks, they're playing very well right now, extremely well, in fact. If it implodes and they don't get out of the Eastern Conference, I don't think getting to the finals is enough. But if things begin to implode, you know Jim Dolan, Leon Rose, and that Knicks organization are looking for any and every excuse to hire Jason Kidd as their head coach. So all I'm saying to you, Mike Brown, continue to do what you're doing. To AM's point, he has made terrific adjustments throughout the season, specifically towards the end of the Hawks series and currently in the Sixers series. But if you don't get out of that Eastern Conference, my friend, Jason Kidd will be taking your job in Gotham City next season.
I love the speculation, Dwight. I completely agree. The fact that Jason Kidd tried to get Masai Ujiri's job, albeit long before Masai was, Kidd's gone, bro. I think, and we talk about it all the time. What do big bosses do when there's an upper management change? They come in and they make changes. They get their guys or girls. So we'll see how that goes. But I love that you brought that up, Dwight. Please put Correa's comment up. Here it is. Correa Gage, we love you, Correa. Good W talk today. The insufferable Dr. X's Knicks drip. Stay fly, bro. I see ya.
You.
And Correa, we will see you at the WNBA draft tonight. The XSN WNBA draft. She's in it. I'm in it. Doc is in it. Ashley's in it. Dr. Knob is in it, and we're going to have a blast. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So just wanted to shout out Correa and everybody that's going to be in that draft. And one last, so I want to thank everybody. Chastity Melvin is amazing. Megan McPeak is amazing. Thank you. To them, Dwight, for coordinating all that. Thank you. I love having them on. They're so freaking smart and so pro and so slick and just awesome. Okay. So shout out to them. So for AM Pfeffer, for Ashley Neville, who by the way, killed it on her first full episode
100%.
here on X-Rated Sports Network. Ashley, way to go. This is exactly what we thought we were going to get. And guess what? You exceeded expectations. So well done. For Ashley and AM and Dwight and Doc and Jason and Kai, I am Cam. We will see you again Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we say a fond see you later with an awe as we help AM and his lovely wife celebrate. It's getting racy in here. Oh my gosh.
Kai and Jason.
Woo! It's getting racy in here, people.